Welcome. I'm E.G. Marshall. Welcome to the sound of suspense, to the fear you can hear. A psychiatrist once said that the human brain is like a spider's web. Together, all the strands are strong, but taken one by one, each can easily be broken, and the web destroyed. There are countless cases of human brains broken and smashed in just this way, step by step, strand by strand. And I can't help wondering, is this what happened to young Jennifer Brady?
Please, officer, I'm not out of my mind.
I didn't say you were.
No, but everybody else does, and I'm not. I'm not.
I don't mean you're off crazy because you had a bad dream.
It was no dream. It happened. I tell you, it happened.
No, ma'am, it didn't. You see, it couldn't have. A thing like that to happen. Impossible.
Our mystery drama, Honeymoon with Death, was written especially for the Radio Mystery Theater by George Lothar and stars Lois Nettleton. I'll be back shortly with Act One. What makes Jennifer Brady think she's going out of her mind? What strange thing happened that couldn't have happened? Perhaps we can find out together.
It was a wonderful honeymoon, Howard. I can't tell you how much I enjoyed it. Adored it. But you know something? Howard, you know something?
What, Jennifer, what?
It's wonderful to be back home. These last 10 days driving back from San Francisco, I kept thinking, when, oh, when will I be back in my own bedroom, in my own bed, in my own little old New York brownstone house? Oh, I shouldn't have said that, should I?
What? Said what, Jennifer?
Am I bothering you with all my chatter, Howard?
Bothering me? How could you possibly bother me, sweetheart? I'm just trying to catch up with all that mail Margaret left on the living room table. Oh, hey, I haven't seen that negligee before.
I saved it for our homecoming night. Like? I can see a whole month of honeymooning hasn't changed you a bit.
When I've got a bride as beautiful and sexy as you, our whole life is going to be a honeymoon. Now, tell me, what was it you shouldn't have said?
What? Oh, I've forgotten.
Something about your own little old New York brownstone house.
Oh, well, what I meant, it's not just mine anymore. It's yours now, too.
And your sister Maggie's. You both inherited this old brownstone from your father. Though I must say I think that we, have the better of the bargain.
What do you mean?
I much prefer this top-floor apartment, don't you?
Oh, yes. Luckily, Maggie always preferred the downstairs part. No climbing stairs.
Well, stairs won't bother me. I'll take them 2, 3 at a time, knowing that you're waiting at the top of them.
Oh, darling.
Well, you better finish brushing your hair. I'll finish that mail in the living room.
Howard?
Yes?
About the car.
What about it?
Do you think it's safe parked out in the street?
One night won't hurt.
I'd feel awful if anything happened to it. You know, sometimes on our honeymoon trip I couldn't help wondering which you loved more, your new car or me. Oh, well, I guess one night in the street is safe enough. You can find a garage tomorrow. Howard, you locked the car. You have the keys, haven't you? Howard? Howard, can't you hear me? I asked you... Howard! Oh, my God! Maggie! Maggie, oh, my God! Maggie, come up here! Howard's been murdered! Maggie, Howard's dead! He's got a knife sticking out of his chest and blood! Maggie! Maggie, where are you? Maggie, help me! Help me! Maggie! Where is she? Where is she? Where are you? Help! I need help! I need help! Help me! Somebody help me! Help! My husband's been murdered! Jennifer! Oh, stop it! Stop it! Maggie! Oh, where have you been? Where?
you ain't come back into the house out in the street like this in your nightgown. Scream!
Maggie, it's Howard!
Jennifer, come back into the house. You're going to have your attacks.
No, Howard. He's dead. He's up there sitting in a chair with a knife in his chest.
Jennifer, please, now stop it. Come back in now. Come on. I'll phone Dr. Sullivan.
I don't need Dr. Sullivan, I tell you, Howard. Howard!
All right, now. Hope the neighbors haven't heard or seen anything. Now, look, Jen. You sit here on the couch and try to hold on. I'll phone Dr. Sullivan.
Maggie! Howard is dead. He's up there in our apartment. Dead.
Jennifer, please, now try to control yourself. There's no one named Howard here.
What do you mean? No one named Howard? You know Howard Lansing, my husband, the man I've been on a honeymoon with for a whole month and home just a few hours ago. And stop looking at me like that.
All right. Now, look, Jennifer, I'll tell you what I'm going to do. I'll go upstairs, and I'll see if anybody's there.
Howard's there.
All right. If this Howard is there, and if he's dead, then I'll phone the police. All right?
Yes.
But if he isn't, then I'm going to phone Dr. Sullivan, have him come right over. Now, that agreed?
What's that?
That's just the front door bell, Jennifer. Oh, yes, officer?
Officer Helmet, ma'am. Ed Helmet. Anything wrong?
No.
What do you mean, no? My husband's been murdered. He's upstairs dead, a knife in his chest.
Jennifer, please. Officer, there is no one upstairs, dead or alive.
Well, then what was all the screaming about? I'm walking the beat just up at the corner, and I hear all this screaming.
It's nothing. Believe me, it's nothing.
Officer, will you do me a favor?
Well, sure, if I can.
Would you go upstairs, please, and see for yourself?
Officer, my sister is a highly emotional woman.
Please? Would you please?
Sure. Make you feel any better? Sure.
Jen, what am I going to do with you? You know what Dr. Sullivan said.
Dr. Sullivan?
He said if you had another one of these attacks, you were going to have to be...
I am not having an attack. I am as sane as you are. Don't look at me like that, Maggie. I am. Well, officer?
Well, there's nobody up there, ma'am.
Nobody. But there is somebody. My husband, Howard. He's sitting in a chair with a knife in his chest, blood all over.
No, ma'am.
But that's impossible. Impossible, I tell you. It's impossible. I couldn't.
Maybe you want to see for yourself, huh? I'll go up with you.
Officer, thank you very much, but there's no need.
I do want to see for myself, will you?
Sure.
I'll come with you. Well, no, on second thought, what's the use? I mean, I'm really very tired of this sort of thing.
What sort of thing?
Never mind, officer. Just, you go ahead.
Now, is this the room where you, thought that, Huh?
I can't believe it. It's impossible.
You can see for yourself.
5 minutes ago. 5 minutes ago, I tell you. In this chair. He was sitting back in this chair, and there was a knife sticking out of his chest. The mail was scattered all over the floor.
Mail?
We'd just come back from our honeymoon. We'd only been in the house a few hours, and Maggie had left all the mail that had collected for a month on the table, on this table.
Well, you can see, ma'am, no mail.
And blood. There was blood on the carpet, some on the mail.
Well, no mail, no blood. You don't mind me saying so. I think you... Well, maybe you had a dream, a nightmare, huh?
Please. I'm not out of my mind.
I didn't say you were.
No, but everybody else does, and I'm not. I'm not.
It don't mean you're off your out of your mind because you had a bad dream.
It was no dream. It happened. I tell you, it happened. Howard was here in the living room reading the mail. I was talking to him from the bedroom. I had just taken a bath, and I was brushing my hair, and... Wait. I know. I hadn't emptied the tub. The water's still there. It must be. I'll show you. I don't understand it.
Tub's bone dry, ma'am. Hasn't been used. Now, not tonight, anyway.
His clothes. Howard's clothes. He'd empty his suitcases and put his clothes in the closet. His suitcases, too.
Just ladies' clothes. Yours, ma'am?
Yes.
Now, hey, don't cry. Hey, look, this dream you had.
It was no dream.
Okay, so maybe you imagined...
I didn't imagine anything. Do you imagine a husband? Do you imagine a month-long honeymoon? Do you imagine a man in a chair with a knife in his chest?
Oh, I gotta admit, you'd have to have a darn strong imagination. But they tell me that's what artists got.
Artists?
Oh, you are an artist, aren't you? That painting there on the easel?
Oh, that's just a hobby. I haven't touched that since I left on my honeymoon.
No?
What do you mean?
How long does it take paint to dry?
Oh, a day, thereabouts.
Well, this paint's still wet. Plenty wet. Look at my finger. Oh, now don't start crying again. A woman crying, it makes me feel awful.
I'm sorry.
Look, whether you dreamed it or imagined it...
I didn't.
Yeah.
I didn't.
Yeah, well...
I know I've had spells.
Spells? What kind of spells?
Oh, I've always been high-strung, nervous, you know.
Well, I don't know if I know. I mean, me, well, I'm the other way. I haven't got a nerve in my whole body.
I envy you. You've never been to a psychiatrist.
A shrink? No, me. You ask me, anybody who goes to a shrink ought to have his head examined. That's a joke. You get it?
Yes.
Well, then laugh a little bit. Come on, do you good.
I can't.
No, of course you can't. I'm sorry. I should have known better than to even try and make a joke. You go to a psychiatrist, huh?
Yes. Not regularly. Sometimes.
What times?
Oh, when I sort of get all keyed up and start having crying spells and feeling so sad I could die.
Well, what's to feel sad about? Chick like, excuse me, a pretty girl like you with everything in life to live for. What's to be sad?
I don't know. Some people feel sad for no reason at all. They just suffer from depressions.
Oh, excuse me?
Oh, yes, ma'am?
Jennifer, Dr. Sullivan is on his way over. I just phoned him.
All right.
And, officer, thank you very much for trying to help.
Oh, not at all, ma'am. Not at all. Glad to do what I could.
I'll show you out.
Oh, that's okay.
No. It's all right. I'll come with you. I'll be just a minute, Jen. Officer, I wanted to ask you, you don't have to say anything about this, do you? I mean, put it in your report or anything?
Oh, no. There's been no damage or anything like that. Does she get this way often, your sister?
Well, often enough. She hallucinates, you see.
Huh? Come again?
Hallucinates? It means, well, just what you saw. She was totally convinced there was a murdered man up there. Her husband, no less. Well, you saw for yourself. Husband. Jennifer's never even had a boyfriend.
A cute doll? A pretty girl like that?
Well, it's all part of her condition. She's afraid of people. Men, especially. I wish she could become less afraid, more outgoing. If these spells of hers get any worse, she may lose her mind altogether.
Oh, say, I hope not. A sweet kid like that, I sure hope not.
I know, so do I. Well, looks like we've had a little shower. Street's wet.
It was drizzling a little when I came in. Well, good night, ma'am, and if you need...
Wait! The car! The car!
The car? What car?
Howard's. The little red sports car he was so fond of. It isn't there. But it was. I know it was.
Officer, thanks again, and good night.
Good night, ladies.
Jen, dear, until Dr. Sullivan gets here, I think you should lie down and rest.
I don't want to lie down.
Well, then just stretch out on the couch and I'll make some tea for us. Oh, that's probably Dr. Sullivan now. Oh, yes?
Excuse me, ma'am. I just wanted to get something straight.
Yes.
Your sister, did she say... Oh, ma'am.
Yes, officer.
Did you say that car was a little sports car?
Yes. Why?
Well, nothing, only... There was one parked out there in the street.
What do you mean?
Oh, we've had a shower, see, and I happened to notice the street's dry in one spot. There must have been a car standing there while it was raining. A small car.
Officer, please don't make things worse for me or for my sister. I mean, there's nothing unusual about a car being parked in the street.
No, only...
Good night, officer.
Funny, though. Funny.
What exactly is it that strikes Officer Helmut as funny? Perhaps we'll know when I return shortly with Act 2. Has a horrible murder been done? Or is Jennifer Brady losing her mind? Did she find the body of her husband, Howard Lansing, seated in her living room with a knife in his chest? Or did she imagine the frightful scene? Is she married? Was there a honeymoon? Oh, here's young patrolman Ed Helmut at the front door of the brownstone house where Jennifer and her sister Maggie live. And it's the following morning.
Oh, it's you.
Yeah,
Well, won't you come in?
thanks.
Thank you for, what you did last night.
Oh, just doing my job, Mrs. I don't know what to call you.
I don't know what to call myself. I don't know if I'm Mrs. Howard Lansing or Miss Jennifer Brady. Not after last night.
Well, suppose I just call you Jennifer. You can call me Ed. Ed Helmut.
What are you doing here?
Well, I'm off duty, see. I'm on the 4 to midnight beat, and I just thought I'd drop around and see how you were doing.
Oh, well, I'm all right.
You mind if I ask you a couple of questions, Jennifer?
No. It's your job, isn't it?
Well, yes and no. The fact being off duty now, I'm kind of asking these questions on my own. You know what I mean?
I don't. Not really.
Well, I tell you, that car of your husband's...
If I didn't just imagine a husband.
Yeah, well, if you didn't, that car of his, that little red sports car you mentioned, well, there was a car parked out front last night, and it was a little sports car.
If it wasn't there when you left.
Well, the space it left. It rained, remember, while the car was standing at the curb?
Oh, yes.
So at least you were right about there being a car. I mean, you didn't dream that up.
It could have been anyone's car, Maggie said.
Oh, that's for sure. Still, though, it could have been a car belonging to a guy named Howard Lansing. Couldn't it? Couldn't it?
Why are you doing this?
Come again?
Well, you know that I'm not well. That all my life I've had nervous problems. Oh, I can't believe it, but I must have dreamed it all up. Howard Lansing, marrying him, going on a honeymoon across country and back, coming home last night, finding him murdered. I must have imagined it all. Maggie says I did. Dr. Sullivan says I did. So why are you...
You know something? I don't know. Maybe it's because, Well,
what?
I kind of like you, and, Well, me, I didn't get much sleep either last night, thinking about this whole thing, thinking about you, and, well, I'm kind of wishing I could straighten things out for you.
That's very sweet of you, officer. But...
Call me Ed.
Ed? It's sweet of you. But you're wasting your time. I'm mentally...
Oh, come on now, don't cry. You had a bad dream, that's all. A nightmare.
Oh, it was more than that, much more than that. When you dream something, you wake up and you know it was a dream. I'm still living it. I remember the ceremony, the hotels we stayed at, the things we did. Even Howard constantly fussing with his new car.
Yeah, there's that car again. What do you mean, fussing with it?
Oh, just that he was always polishing it, checking this and that. Fussing, that's all.
And you remember all about the ceremony and the hotels and like that?
It's all as vivid as if it had actually happened.
Tell me about the wedding. Who married you?
Nobody married me, Ed. I imagined...
Okay. So where did you imagine you got married?
A little town in Jersey. By a justice of the peace.
What little town? What JP?
I don't know. It was night and we just pulled off the Garden State Parkway. Howard had said he knew a place, a justice of the peace.
Okay. What about hotels?
Well... I remember we stayed at the Ambassador in Chicago and the Statler in St. Louis, the Beverly in Los Angeles, and... Oh, that you, Maggie?
Yes, Jen? Well, any calls? Well, Oh.
Hello, Miss Brady.
Aren't you the policeman who was here last night?
Yeah, that's right. You're wondering what I'm doing here now, huh?
Well, yes, I am.
I just dropped in to see how Jen was doing, that's all.
Jen?
Excuse me, Miss Brady. I was never much for being formal.
Yes, obviously. Have you been here long?
No, 10 minutes or so.
Well, I don't mean to hurry you, officer, but Jennifer and I have an appointment in 1 hour with her psychiatrist, Dr. Sullivan.
Say, would that be Dr. Martin Sullivan on Park Avenue?
No, Dr. Arnold Sullivan on East 82nd.
Oh.
You seem terribly interested in Jennifer's psychiatrist.
Me? Oh, no. I just ask a lot of questions. I trained myself.
You trained yourself?
You're going to laugh. I know you're going to laugh, but would you believe I want to be a detective someday?
Of course I'd believe it. Why shouldn't I?
Ask my sergeant. He thinks I'm something else wanting to be a detective. Laughs himself silly.
Well, I certainly wouldn't laugh. I think it's commendable.
You think I could make a detective?
Of course you could.
Well, say, that's a real shot in the arm. I mean, someone like you thinking that someone like me was just a cop and new on the force.
As I said, officer, I don't like to hurry you, but
I'm going, Miss Brady. Going right now. Nice seeing you again, Jen.
I'll show you out.
No, that's okay. Some detective I'd make if I couldn't find the front door. Well, why,
Jennifer, would you answer that, please?
Of course. Oh, my God.
Jennifer? What is it?
Help me! Oh, my God, Maggie! Ed, help me!
What?
He's there! At the front door, he's there! Howard!
Oh, I'm sorry. Is something... What's all the trouble?
You're dead! Murdered!
What?
Last night after we got home from our honeymoon, I found you in your chair, stabbed to death.
Last night, honey, stab... Maggie, what is this?
Jen's having another one of her spells, Howard, that's all.
Oh, I see.
What do you mean, you see? You see what?
What does... Excuse me, who are you?
My name is Ed Helmut, Officer Ed Helmut. I'm a cop.
A cop?
Howard, I'll explain later what went on here last night.
I don't understand this. I don't understand it. You're talking to Howard as if nothing had happened.
Jennifer, nothing did.
He exists. He's standing right here. He exists. And last night you acted as if you'd never heard of him. As if there was no such person as Howard Lansing.
Darling, I don't remember.
You did.
Jennifer, stop it. Now stop it. Control yourself. Officer, You were leaving.
There's some questions I better get the answers to
Officer,
first.
this is a private matter. It's a family affair.
Well, now that depends on how you look at it. Are you Howard Lansing?
Of course I'm Howard Lansing. Why do you ask such a question?
Howard, Jen had one of her mental lapses last night. She imagined that you and she were married.
We were.
And that you had just come back from your honeymoon.
Oh, good Lord.
And then during this hallucination, she thought she had found you with a knife in your chest, dead.
Oh, no, poor little Jenny.
She ran screaming into the street. Luckily, I got her back into the house before she caused a disturbance, although this officer did hear the screams and came to investigate.
Well, did you call Dr. Sullivan?
Of course I did. He came over, but there wasn't much he could do except order some new sleeping pills. We're seeing him in his office at 11 this morning.
Just one more question, Mr. Lansing.
Yes?
Just where do you fit in here? I mean, who are you? To the family, I mean.
I'm Miss Brady's fiancée, Margaret, not Jennifer.
Oh. I see.
No, I'm afraid you don't see. Not all of it. Look, since we've gone this far, you might as well know the rest of it. Jennifer has always had a thing for Howard. She's not jealous that he's going to marry me and not her. Don't think that. But the whole situation has been a severe strain on her, a very severe strain.
Almost certainly that's why her hallucination last night took the form that it did, thinking she'd been married to me and all the rest of it.
Yeah, that makes sense. Well, I'll be on my way. Hey, now, you take it easy, huh? And me, if it's okay with you, I'm going to be in touch. I'll see my way out. Hey, Mr. Lansing, you have got a little red sports car.
Well, yes, that's it, parked at the curb. Why?
Well, Jen, Miss Brady, she seemed to make a big thing out of it. On the honeymoon that didn't happen, I mean.
Big thing?
Well, what I mean, she said you were always fussing with it, polishing it and like that. Sure looks as if you do.
Well, I do. I'm a sports car buff, if you want to know.
I wish I could own a car like that. But on a cop's salary, you had it long?
Well, 2 or 3 months.
Oh. How many miles you put on it?
You ask a lot of questions.
Just interested, that's all.
Close to 10,000, I think.
Well, that's a lot of miles in 3 months.
I do a lot of driving.
Your business, huh?
No, I don't work. Don't have to. Just like to drive. Short trips, but they add up.
Oh, boy. If I had a car like that, I'd go for long trips, like cross country.
Well, maybe someday I will, but so far I haven't had the interest.
Yeah. Well, see ya.
Bye. Where is she?
Upstairs, changing for appointment with Sullivan.
I don't like this, Maggie.
You don't like it. You don't like it. All the stupid things walking in here when that cop was here.
How did I know he was here? To come to that, why did you let her run screaming into the street last night?
Howard, come to your senses. Was there any other way?
No, I guess there wasn't.
I'm afraid we're going to have to move faster than we planned.
Why?
That young cop's pretty nosy. Come over here to the window.
What?
Look, down there.
What the hell is he doing?
He's measuring the size of your car from front to back wheels.
What's he doing that for?
I don't know. He's doing it. I don't like it. No, Howard, we won't commit Jennifer now.
Well, if we don't commit her, what will we do with her?
Kill her.
Clearly, Maggie and Howard faked his murder. But how could they have managed it? And how will they kill Jennifer? We'll return shortly with Act 3. Were you as shocked as I to discover that Howard Lansing is very much alive? I can't fathom it. Can you? No more than, 10 minutes could have passed between the time Jennifer saw him slumped in that chair with a knife in his chest, blood all over everything, and the time Officer Helmut entered the room to find no body, no blood, nothing to indicate that a murder had taken place. It would have been impossible for Howard Lansing and Margaret Brady to restore perfect order to that room in so short a time, even to Howard's clothes and luggage no longer in the closet, a bone-dry bathtub, and the rest of it. Got me puzzled? Well, we'll soon have the answer as we rejoin Maggie and Howard.
Kill her.
There's nothing else we can do.
Oh, we can do what we planned originally. Commit her.
It won't work. Not now.
Why not?
Your answer is right out there in the street. The cop was just finished measuring your car.
Now, what's he doing?
Quite obviously getting into your car.
I think I better get out there and see what he's up to.
I was just about to suggest it, Howard.
Officer, what are you doing in my car?
Oh, say, Mr. Lansing. Say, I hope you don't mind. Like I told you, I want to own a little sports car like this myself someday, and, well, I just couldn't help sitting behind the wheel. Say, I hope you don't mind.
As a matter of fact, I do mind.
Oh, well, say, please excuse me. I just kind of flip over a car like this, that's all.
Is that why you were measuring the wheelbase?
Measuring... Oh, that.
Yes, that. I saw you from the window.
Yeah, well, now, I tell you, I want to get to be a detective someday, see? And I'm studying, like, fingerprints and stains and like that, and measuring. Now, measuring things is important, very important. You'd be surprised how important measuring things is. So, I take every opportunity to measure things.
Yes. Well...
Like last night. Were you here last night?
No, I was not here last night.
Funny.
What's funny?
Well, last night, Jennifer, Miss Brady, she said a car, in fact, your car, was parked outside here. Only it wasn't. I mean, when we looked, no car.
Well, I just told you that...
Yeah, but there had been a car. You see, it had rained, and the car was standing out here during the rain, and left a dry space in the street. And I measured that, too. Couldn't help myself. It's become a habit, you know?
Well, I fail to see what this has to do with
Identical. Same wheelbase. That car and this one.
Look, there are probably thousands of sports cars in New York.
I'm not saying it was the same car. Oh, no, nothing like that. I'm only saying the wheelbase was the same.
It's very interesting, I'm sure, but if you don't mind now,
Just leaving when you came out. I apologize if I upset you getting in behind the wheel without permission.
That's all right.
Yeah. Well, goodbye. Oh, by the way...
Now what?
You got 11,243 and 9/10 miles on the speedometer. 1,000 or so more than you said you had. I just thought you'd like to know.
Thank you. I'm deeply grateful for that information. He is up to something, Maggie.
What else is new?
He checked the mileage on the car.
What of it?
Over 11,000 miles. I could easily have driven from here to L.A. and back, which I did.
Mileage shows only how far a car went, not where. I'm not worried about your car. I'm worried about him nosing around. The quicker we kill Jennifer, the better.
Now, look, I didn't bargain for anything like murder.
Neither did I, but that's the way it is.
How will you do it?
How will we do it? Sleeping pills. An overdose, that's the simplest.
When?
Well, tonight. Why wait? Oh, Jennifer. Ready for our appointment with Dr. Sullivan, I see.
Yes.
I'll just get my coat.
Howard,
Yes, Jennifer.
I'm sorry if I've caused you any trouble.
Oh, now...
I'm losing my mind, Howard. I must be. Marrying you, our honeymoon trip across country, returning last night, finding you dead. It was all so real. So real. And yet it wasn't. It never happened. Oh, Howard, I just can't go on like this much longer.
You won't, Jennifer. Believe me, you won't.
You sure of that? Did you check all marriage license applications for... And there's no Howard Lansing and Jennifer Brady, huh?
Call for you at Beverly Hotel, Los Angeles.
Right there. Okay, sorry I troubled you. Thanks. Hello? Yeah. Yeah, how far back did you check your guest register? And there's no Mr. and Mrs. Howard Lansing.
Hey, Ed, another one. The ambassador of Chicago. You going on a trip or something, man?
Thanks. Officer Ed Helmet here. Yeah, I think I can tell you what you're going to tell me before you tell me. No record of a Mr. and Mrs. Howard Lansing. Yeah. Well, thanks. There's got to be a clue. There's got to be.
Well,
She's asleep.
how many pills did you give her?
Enough. What's the matter, Howard? Why that look on your face?
I'm a murderer. I'm just beginning to realize it. I am a murderer.
Not yet, Howard. She won't be dead for a while.
How can you be so calm? You frighten me, Maggie. I've never seen this side of you before.
You've got to be kidding. All the time we spent planning
To
this.
commit her, not murder her.
What's the difference? We're not doing all this for peanuts, you know. We inherited $1.5 million from my father, Jennifer and I. You and I will have all of it once she... Who could that be?
Ah, see.
Wait. No, I guess we can't pretend no one's at home. The lights are all on.
And my car's parked out front. Oh, it's you.
Okay if I come in, Mr. Lansing?
Oh, well, now,
Thanks. Rotten night out there. Just plain rotten.
It's Officer Helmet, Maggie.
Yes, so I see. Getting to be a regular visitor, aren't you?
To be honest with you, Miss Brady, it's a real nasty night, and walking a beat, I didn't think you'd mind if I came in for a few minutes. Also, I wanted to see how Jen's getting along.
Jen is getting along very well, if it's any concern of yours, which it is not.
Oh, well, I only...
Officer Helmet, circumstances beyond my control brought you into this house last night, but I do control whether you'll keep coming here like this. Please leave.
Oh, well, now, wait a minute, Miss Brady. I like your sister, and I have reason to think she likes me. Now, wait a second. Just wait a second. I also think she needs somebody like me, somebody to lean on, to protect her.
Of all
And
the
further than that, I'm here on official business.
Official business?
I'm placing you both under arrest on a charge of... Where is Jen?
That's no business of yours. What's all this about?
Where is she?
She is upstairs asleep, if you must know.
Asleep at 8 o'clock at night?
She took a couple of sleeping pills.
Where are you going? How dare you go up there?
Maggie,
You
my
have
God.
any nerve, don't lose it now.
But he'll know.
He'll know she took an overdose. That's all he will know.
He will know that we gave it to her. He's arresting us.
For what? On what charge? Whatever it is, he'll never make it stick. We've covered our tracks too well for the law to... He's carrying her down.
It's all right, baby. It's gonna be all right. Operator, this is Officer Ed Helmet. I want an ambulance sent to 127 Brockhurst, and fast.
An ambulance? Why an ambulance?
An overdose of sleeping pills.
She took a...
She didn't take them, Buster. They were given to her, shoved down her throat, you ask me. I'm changing the charge against you two. I'm booking you for attempted murder.
You must be out of your mind. You're as crazy as my sister.
Who isn't crazy at all. That was a real far-out scene you two tried to pull. I gotta hand it to you two. You planned it so careful, so good. There wasn't a loophole in it. Except one.
I don't know what you're talking about.
You don't, huh? Then let me explain. You set the whole thing up, the two of you. The marriage, the honeymoon trip across country and back, the fake murder, and the whole bit. Oh, and you played it smart. Very smart. Not a clue. I checked the Marriage License Bureau. No license. Easy enough. You could have bribed a clerk to destroy it.
Now, look, you...
I checked a few hotels. The big ones like the Ambassador, the Beverly in Los Angeles. No Mr. and Mrs. Howard Lansing listed. A piece of cake. When you registered, you gave a different name.
You're making yourself look like a fool. What you're saying is you could find no evidence.
Oh, but I did. One little clue that neither of you thought about. The car, Mr. Lansing. Your pretty little red sports car.
I don't follow.
You will. I told you I found that dry space out on the street last night because a car, a little sports car like yours, had been standing there during the rain.
Well, it could have been anyone's car.
Sure. Same size as yours. Same wheelbase. But I agree, it could have been anyone's. Only it wasn't. It was yours. You want to know how I know?
We'd be enthralled.
I know, because last night, that car wasn't parked outside this house. but the one next door. I got to wondering about that. I kept saying to myself, if it was his car, why did he park outside the house next door? I came up with the answer today when I entered that house. Nobody there. And found fake blood all over the upstairs room. A gag knife, the kind you attach so it looks like you're stabbed. Even your clothes and your luggage in the closet. Mr. Lansing.
Oh, God.
So you see, if it hadn't been for your car, I'd never have realized that brownstone houses in a row like these are identical. You bought this place, or leased it while Jen and him were on their honeymoon, didn't you, Miss Brady? Last night, when Jen went screaming into the street, you deliberately let her run into the street so you could bring her back to the house next door. This house. In her state, wound up tight like she was, she never realized what you were doing, as you knew she wouldn't.
You'll have to prove these accusations.
I will. I can. With the one little clue that nails it all down at all four corners. The little red sports car again.
What about it?
Well, you told me you'd never driven across country.
I never have. If you're thinking of the mileage on the car, that proves nothing.
Well, not the mileage, Mr. Lansing. The servicing.
Servicing?
You had it serviced at the Beverly Hotel in Los Angeles. A lube job, oil change, new filter, the works. And like they do at all service stations, they slapped a little sticker on the door jamb. That little sticker that carries the name and address of the service station. That little sticker that practically nobody ever notices. Anyhow, you didn't. And it says, Beverly Hotel Service Station, Los Angeles, California. Date and all. Easy, Jen. Easy. You're gonna be okay. From here on in, you're gonna be just fine.
Must have been a costly business, buying or leasing that identical brownstone house and furnishing it exactly like the one next door. But then Maggie had all the money in the world, or thought she did. I'll return shortly. Yes, like a spider's web, so strong and yet so weak, the human brain can be broken. But happily, again, like the spider's web, it can be repaired, as good as new. Our cast included Lois Nettleton, Tony Roberts, Terry Keane, and Norman Rose. The entire production was under the direction of Hyman Brown. This is E.G. Marshall inviting you to return to our Mystery Theater for another adventure in the macabre. Until next time, pleasant dreams. Come in. Welcome. I am E.G. Marshall. Welcome to the sound of suspense, to the fear you can hear. What do you think about witches? Not the bony hags and atrocious crones of Shakespeare and legend, or the poor unfortunates of Salem, but witches who are young, witches who are beautiful, witches who even fall in love.
Excuse me?
Who let you in here?
Well, I hope I'm not disturbing you.
I'm only trying to make a deadline.
Well, if you're in the news business, I've got something for you.
It better be good.
I'm going to have to kill my wife.
That won't be news till you do it.
I know. I want you to know why.
Okay. Why?
Because she's a witch.
Our mystery drama, I Warn You 3 Times, was written especially for the Mystery Theater by Sam Dan and stars Joan Loring. I'll be back shortly with Act 1. It's one of those miserable, stormy nights in the dead of winter. A thick, clinging, wet snow seems determined to smother the entire earth and everyone on it. You'd think that most people would choose the cheerful indoors, a warming fire, a relaxing drink, a comfortable bed. That's the problem with most people. You can't figure them. For instance, consider that line of cars crawling down Main Street, bumper to bumper, skidding, sliding. Where is everybody headed on a night like this? Have we become a race of lemmings? Do we follow some mysterious unconscious drive? An interesting speculation, but we won't pursue it. We'd better consider the traffic, which has come to a complete standstill. A car seems to be stuck at the intersection.
Let's go, sister. That light's green.
Oh, officer.
Well, what are you waiting for, lady?
My husband.
Your husband?
The light was red, and he said he wanted to step out and clean off the rear window.
Hey, mister. You finished back there?
He just stepped out. It was a moment ago. Tom?
Well, maybe he slipped in the snow.
Tom, are you all right?
Lady, there ain't nobody around the back.
But he just went out to clean...
to clean the rear window. That's what you said.
But what could have happened?
Just sit there, mad lady. Hey, lay off of that horn. I know you got one. Now, what's wrong, officer? Did you see a guy get out of that car up?
Did I see a guy get out of the car?
Yeah. Did you?
Are the police after someone and escaped?
Oh, come on, Butcher. Just tell me. Did you see a guy cleaning off the rear window of that car up front?
Well, to tell you the truth, I wasn't paying any attention. I was listening to the radio. Now, there could have been somebody, but then again, I couldn't say there was. It's not that I'm not trying to get involved, officer. I'm a citizen. I know my duty, but
Well, thank you.
Officer, where is my husband? He was just there.
Lady, he disappeared.
How could he disappear?
I don't know. I do know he ain't here.
What am I going to do?
Well, you can't keep blocking traffic, lady. You gotta move on.
Where?
Well, it beats me.
But you must find him.
Look, you got troubles with your husband, that's your problem. But when you hold up traffic, that's my problem. Will you feed her a little gas, please? Come on, let's go. Let's go.
But I can't.
Lady, you gotta go somewhere.
I can't go anywhere. I don't know how to drive.
Desk, Lieutenant Carroll. Yeah. Nobody wants this guy, you say? Well, technically, that isn't true. His wife wants him. Okay. Well, look who's here.
Lieutenant?
You won't win any Pulitzer Prizes around this joint tonight, Peterson.
I was hoping you might have a little bone to throw me.
Page 1.
I'll settle for 2 inches on the bottom of page 38.
If you promise to remember 2 R's and 1 L. First name Irvin, not Irving. Lieutenant Irvin Carroll. We may have something shaping up.
Ah.
I don't know where it can go. Everywhere or nowhere.
What have I got to lose?
Sitting over there on the first bench.
Ooh, that's nice.
And married.
Well, you win, you lose.
A very, very weird story.
Tell me about it.
No. Let her tell you about it. Why don't you ask her?
Excuse me. My name is Fred Peterson. I'm a reporter for the Union Messenger.
Oh, no, I don't want to talk to a reporter.
Why not?
Because
Because you're afraid? Why?
Could you put Tom's picture in the paper?
Well, that depends. Has Tom done anything?
He's disappeared.
Well, we'd need the how, the when, the where.
The when, about an hour ago. Where? On Route 986 at Main Street. How? I don't know. You see, we were driving south. It was snowing hard, and he said, I can't see out the rear window. The light was red. He stepped outside to wipe it off. He didn't come back.
Where did he go?
I don't know.
Well, where could he go?
I don't know.
In that snow. And there's nothing around there? Could you give me a wide?
I can't imagine. I don't know what to do. I sit here waiting. Look, my name is Hetty Parsons. Tom and I, we've been married 5 years. We don't have any problems. I mean, we're very happy. If you print his picture in the story, maybe someone will see it who can help us.
Excuse me a minute.
Well?
Yeah, I think I'll run with it.
I don't blame you. I was always partial to girls with honey-colored hair and baby blue eyes.
Ah, so you noticed, too. Have you run a check on her husband, Tom Parsons?
Well, he's not one of the known bad boys. No record at all.
And what did she say he did?
He's an accountant. He has his own business in the Barstow building.
You looked him up in the phone book?
Checks out.
They were headed south, huh?
That's what she says.
If it was a trip, there should have been bags.
There were.
His and hers?
His and hers.
How does it look?
What do you want from me? I don't solve crimes. I sit here behind the desk.
Come on, Lieutenant.
Well, this is one for you, Fred. How could a guy disappear just like that?
And in that storm. There's no place to go.
He could have had a car following in back of them. A friend was driving it, maybe?
Well, he had to go somewhere. But why?
Right now, we're treating it as missing persons. It's all we can do. He's not wanted for anything. He's a legitimate citizen, as far as we know. He hasn't even done anything to her. At worst, he left her in a car. He hasn't even deserted her. Yet.
Who was driving?
He was. She can't.
Well, that's abandoning her, isn't it?
No. At best, we'd have him for abandoning the car.
Yeah, excuse me a minute. Listen, Mrs. Parsons.
Yes.
Why don't you go home? I've got my car outside.
Oh, no. I want to be here in case they find Tom.
They'll let you know if they find him.
No, I don't want to be home alone tonight. I just want to stay here.
But it may be hours. It may be even days.
Don't say that.
I'm sorry.
I'm just so jumpy and so nervous. I can't believe what's happened to me.
Well, if you're going to sit here, you should have some coffee and a sandwich.
Oh, I couldn't think of food.
I'll be right back. Hey there, Officer Dennis.
Well, look who's here, the friendly reporter.
Yeah, listen, that girl.
Yeah, I was going to ask what girl, but I won't.
Yeah, I want to start at the beginning.
Oh, well, you know, Lieutenant Carroll's got 2 R's, but Patrolman Dennett's got 2 N's.
Yeah. What did happen?
Well, like she said, he went out to clean the rear window, and he was gone.
Anybody see him?
I checked the car and back, but who looks, who notices?
Where could he have gone to around here?
Well, on the south side, you got open fields. On this side, a couple of warehouse buildings locked up.
Night watchman?
Yeah, he's a retired cop. No sign of anybody trying to break in, to hide, or whatever he may have wanted to do.
Okay, so what could have happened to the guy?
Well, it's all very interesting, but in 15 minutes I go off duty, and I won't have to worry about it.
Oh, thanks. I didn't think I could touch a thing, but I must have been starving. Has there been any word?
Yeah, you'll hear the minute they know. Now listen, Hetty, I can help you, but you have to help me.
I'll do whatever I can.
We have 2 basic roads to explore. 1, somebody was out to get your husband.
Oh, no. No! Tom is the mildest, sweetest, most obliging guy on earth. He has absolutely no enemies.
That you know about.
Tom and I have no secrets from each other.
Everybody has at least one enemy.
Tom is incapable of hurting anyone in any way.
He sounds too good to be true.
If he does have a problem, that's it.
All right. The second road to explore. He wasn't pushed, he jumped.
What does that mean?
It means he walked out on you.
Oh, it's inconceivable.
Why?
I've had a liberal education tonight, Mr. Peterson.
Call me Frey.
No, not yet, or maybe never. I've been introduced to a new world. I've been thrown in with people who basically don't believe in anyone. Don't trust anyone. And perhaps they have good cause. Perhaps that's how life is in their world. Perhaps their world is the real world, but it isn't my world.
May I ask, do you come from another world?
It's entirely possible. I won't call you Fred unless and until we become friends. But that's just a little thing. The policeman who brought me here is a confirmed cynic. So is the lieutenant. And so are you.
I must plead guilty as charged.
All of you proposed two basic hypotheses. A, my husband was ambushed by enemies. B, my husband abandoned me. You can't conceive of people who... they simply don't make or have enemies. You can't conceive of people who are completely in love. I'm not a fool, Mr. Peterson. I read these attitudes.
What a wonderful world you live in, Mrs. Parsons. I hope you can stay there always.
We're so dependent on each other, Tom and I. We need each other. We're so complete together.
But we still have the basic fact of his disappearance.
Yes, but all you can see are two alternatives. There is a third, you know.
Really?
Perhaps he was taken ill, suddenly, and he just wandered off. Oh, maybe I should go back there.
I've already been back there. There's no place he could have wandered off to. Tell me, does he have a history of any sort of illness, amnesia, anything like that?
No, nothing like that.
Well, then, where are we? Nowhere.
Perhaps you are nowhere, Mr. Peterson.
Okay, tell me where you are.
I have faith. I believe Tom will be found, or he will find himself, and he will have an absolutely reasonable and rational explanation.
I hope so.
Hetty!
Oh!
Hetty!
Tom! Oh, Tom, darling. Tom, what happened to you? I was so scared. Oh, darling, you're all right?
Hetty, are you all right?
Yes.
I don't understand. I happened to tune in the news, and there it was. Tom Parsons, accountant, with offices in the Barstow building, had disappeared under mysterious circumstances.
Tom, I was so worried.
Mr. Parsons was driving with his wife. He stepped out of the car to clean off the rear window and... Hetty, what did you tell them? I wasn't in the car with you. I was at home.
Well, here we have the story of two people who love each other deeply, who trust each other completely. It sounds like the Garden of Eden. But we all know what happened back there in the traffic and the snow. We shall return shortly with Act 2. You've seen these couples, or rather heard of them. They dwell in a sea of perfect harmony, never a ripple of discord. But when they do have a disagreement, well, it's a beaut. Here we have Fred Peterson listening to Hetty and Tom Parsons having a fantastic difference of opinion.
Tom, how can you say that?
Hetty, darling, I was not in the car with you. I was home. Home.
You said, let's get out of this miserable cold and snow. Let's head south for a couple of weeks.
Hetty, when did I say that? How could I say that? You know I'm swamped with work at the office.
You came home this afternoon, Tom. You said, how would you like to leave for Florida tonight? And I said, give me an hour to pack.
Excuse me.
Who's he?
Oh, he's just...
I'm just Fred Peterson of the Union Messenger.
A reporter?
Oh, please, don't be alarmed. I assure you it's a thoroughly respectable profession.
Well, I see no point in emblazoning this all over the newspapers.
Is there anything to emblazon, as you put it?
This is a private affair.
Tom, tell me what happened. What happened to you after you left me?
Hetty, I told you I never left.
Tom.
How could I have left you? I wasn't with you.
Oh, no, Tom. This time I have witnesses. The police officer, he knows you went out to clear the rear window.
How does he know?
Because
you told him.
Mr. Parsons, now, obviously your wife seems distraught. I would suggest...
Keep your suggestions to yourself, Mr. Peterson. Don't you dare imply that I'm overwrought or nervous or hysterical. I am completely calm, extremely rational, and absolutely in command of myself. I know what happened this evening.
Mr. Peterson, this is obviously a private matter between my wife and me, and nobody's business but ours.
What did you mean, Mrs. Parsons, when you said that this time you had witnesses? Have there been other times when...
Hetty, it doesn't do us any good to air this in public.
All right, Tom. Take me home.
Let me talk to that officer at the desk there. Find out if there's anything we have to do.
Well?
Well, what?
Friend, husband, Tom. He didn't turn out to be quite as advertised.
And what is that supposed to mean?
He isn't quite the sweetest, mildest, most obliging guy on earth, is he?
He is to me.
I guess it's all a matter of how these words are defined, isn't it? And about this oh-so-complete understanding between the two of you. Won't you at least admit you're having a difference of opinion right now?
I don't have to admit anything.
Okay, don't shoot. I'll go quietly. Are you sure you really want me to go?
Please.
Regardless of what you say to me. You are in trouble. No, don't deny it.
Well, what if I am?
I'd like to help you.
Why?
Because...
Would you want to help me if I were middle-aged and fat and sloppy and ugly?
It isn't 10 minutes ago. You accused me of living in a world where no one trusted the next fellow or believed in him. You accused me of being a confirmed cynic. Is it possible you don't remember what you say from one minute to the next?
I'm sorry.
Don't be. There's a great deal to what you said.
You're kind, but no one can help me.
I could try.
And no one should try, either.
Why not?
It's too dangerous.
That was the wrong thing to say to me.
I'm warning you.
You're only getting me in deeper.
Please,
For
Fred.
openers, my business is to take chances and get myself into... Hey, you know what happened?
What?
You called me Fred.
Oh, I'm sorry. I shouldn't have.
But you did. And that means we're friends.
Look, I only
You're
wanted...
the one who set up the ground rules for this thing. First names are for friends only.
Please, forget what happened here tonight. I warn you.
You've already warned me twice. It won't work.
I can only warn you 3 times.
Do you mean you keep score?
Please don't joke, Fred.
You keep saying the wrong word, or I should say the wrong name. The wrong name is Fred. You can't call me Fred and expect me to forget everything.
I warn you. I warn you for the 3rd time. Forget all about tonight, for your own sake, for your own safety.
And after saying all that, you still expect me to forget about it.
Tell my husband I'll wait for him outside in the car.
Wait a minute, Hetty.
I warned you, Fred. I warned you 3 times. Now, goodbye.
Where's my wife?
She said she'd meet you in the car.
Mr. Peterson, if I were you, I'd forget everything that happened tonight.
Is that a threat?
No. A warning.
That's all I've been getting around here, warnings.
Well, for your own good, take them seriously.
And if I don't?
You'll regret it for the rest of your life, which may not be a long one.
You still insist that you're not threatening me?
I'm only trying to help you.
Really? And why should you do that?
Why? I don't know why. Maybe it's because the last guy tried to help me.
What last guy?
I didn't listen to him.
The last guy? What do you mean?
Nothing. Forget it.
You know, with you and your wife, it seems, everything turns out to be nothing and forget.
I don't think it matters now. I have an idea it's already too late for you. I'm sorry. Good night, Mr. Peterson.
Hey, Fred. Fred.
Yeah, Lieutenant, I'm coming.
Well?
Well, what?
There's nothing there for us boys in blue. What's in it for the Fourth Estate?
Looks like he's trying to drive her nuts.
Could also be the other way around.
I don't think so.
Because of that honey-colored blonde hair?
Lieutenant, you always know where the exposed nerve is.
Just stop and figure it. Couldn't this also be her way of trying to drive him nuts?
As a reporter, I would have to say yes.
But, as a man?
I don't know.
Well, you got a problem, Fred. How you going to tackle it? As a reporter? Or as a man?
Good morning.
Oh, Fred, what are you doing here?
Won't you ask me to come in?
Well,
You could also offer me a cup of coffee. It's been a long drive on a cold morning.
Oh, well, I suppose you might as well come inside.
How gracious.
I'm sorry. I'm still upset, and you should know why. Come into the kitchen. I was just pouring myself a cup.
Thanks. Charming place you have here.
Thank you. I suppose Tom is generous enough when it comes to money and things.
The implication being that he is not generous when it comes to what?
Fred, if you insist on talking about Tom, I'll have to ask you to leave.
Okay, let's talk about you.
No. We can't talk about me either.
What can we talk about?
The weather, politics, sports. You'd be surprised I'm a very well-informed person. We could talk about art or literature.
I didn't come here to talk about those things.
I know why you came here.
Do you?
Fred, I'm a married woman.
But you're not a happily married woman.
I'm happy enough.
Okay. Let me tell you why I'm here. As a reporter, that is. It doesn't happen very often that you get a chance to be in on a story before it's a story. You follow me?
No.
Last night, all I could have gotten out of it might have been a squib on the back page, or maybe nothing. But something's happening here. Something's building. I don't know what it is. But one of you is lying. One of you is trying to destroy the other.
And you think you can stop it?
Oh, no, that's not my job. But there's going to be an explosion. And I want to be there when it blows. Because then I'll have a story.
And that's all this is. That's all I am to you. A story.
I was talking as a reporter. But as a man...
Yes?
As a man, I'd like to help you, Hetty.
Even if it meant losing your story?
Yes.
I'd like to believe that.
Why can't you?
I tried to warn you, Fred.
Look, we had all that last night.
I can't warn you anymore, but remember, I did warn you.
Yeah, sure.
Don't brush it aside, Fred.
Hetty, on the general subject of warnings, I've had a few in my day. From gangsters, from politicians. I mean from people who had clout.
But I did warn you.
Look, if you want me to, I'll sign a receipt. Let the record show that you warned me.
You were right. He is trying to destroy me.
Ah, finally. Why?
I don't know.
Okay, let's go through the standards. Is he after your money?
I don't have any.
Another woman?
I don't think so.
Is he tired of you?
I don't know.
Well, none of this is very helpful.
I'm sorry.
What was this business you were giving me back in the station house about your perfect marriage, about your perfect husband?
Because he is. It's just... Well, now and then he imagines things like last night.
What's now and then?
Oh, every few months. One time he stranded me up in Maine. Another time we were supposed to go to Europe. He told me he would be delayed and to get on the plane he would make the next one. And there I was, all by myself in Paris. He denied everything.
Has he seen a doctor?
Yes.
And?
It hasn't done any good.
Is he overworked?
Oh, yes.
Well, maybe he needs a long vacation.
I'm sure of it.
It all sounds pretty simple to me, except for one little item. Why have you insisted on warning me?
Because it was the right thing to do.
I don't understand. First you imply that everything is so simple. Then when I start to believe it, you drop a little suggestion that throws me off balance. I can't seem to get anything definite out of you.
Oh, but you did.
What was that?
A warning.
Lieutenant Carroll?
Hey, Lieutenant.
Hey, how goes the Parson case?
How did you know I was going to ask you about the
That
part?
honey blonde hair.
Does it really show that much?
Pal, you are hooked.
You know, Sammy, that's true. And she may even be playing me like a fish.
So what can I do for you?
Well, no crime has been committed yet, but you can bet there's one on the way.
Well, till then, we're handcuffed around here.
Sure, but you got all the facts.
What facts?
I mean, you can get at them in a routine way. Work up both of them, some past histories.
That's spending the taxpayers' money.
You spend the taxpayers' money every day. Something's ready to blow up there. Just be ready for it. That's all I'm asking.
Actually, Fred, if you want the truth, we've already started.
And?
Keep in touch.
Yeah?
They said you're in this office.
Well, look who's here. Tom the Piper's son. Come on in, sit down.
Mr. Peterson, I've decided to tell you everything. Because I know you're in love with my wife.
Oh, wait a minute.
Now, there are all kinds of meaningless expressions. Wait a minute, see here, hold on, or a few. Let's dispense with them.
You can't accuse me.
I don't accuse you. I state a fact.
Well, then let's be fair. I only met your wife last night. I admit she's attractive. I don't even know her.
That's what I told him.
That's what you told who?
The last guy. The last guy she was married to. I wish I knew how to start this.
Well, start at the beginning.
Okay. I'm an accountant. You're a reporter. Both of us are men of the world. I mean this world. You live on facts. I live on figures. So how can I tell you? How can I expect you to believe me when I say that Hetty isn't a human being at all?
She isn't?
No. She's a witch.
A witch? Yes, that's what he said. A witch. But how can it be? Wasn't all that witch business over and done with more than 200 years ago? Well, that's what we intend to find out shortly when I return with Act 3. Tom Parsons and Fred Peterson sit in a newspaper office. Both are young, alert, stylishly dressed, every bit the modern, sophisticated men of today. And yet, the subject, the very serious subject under discussion, is witchcraft, of all things.
Well, it isn't every day a man accuses his wife of being a witch.
It isn't every day a man finds out he's married to one.
I can only say it's incredible.
I know. That's what I said when he told me.
When who told you?
The last guy.
Tell me about the last guy.
I met Hetty on a cruise ship about 5 years ago. She said her husband had just somehow disappeared. She was distraught. You know, she does the distraught bit to perfection.
I know nothing of the kind. What happened? Had he fallen overboard?
Well, that's what she made everybody think. Till we got a radiogram from shore. He claimed he knew nothing about the trip.
Well, either he had boarded the boat or he hadn't.
Okay, let's get all of that cleared away. There was a ticket in his name. There were some people who claimed they had seen him. The trouble is, there was a pretty drunk bon voyage party. Most everyone was in no shape to remember anything. Oh, yes, the steward did claim to have seen him aboard, but I'm convinced the steward was bribed. So I bought her story. I fell in love with her. Just as you did. And I helped her kill her. Just as you're going to help her kill me.
You know what I think?
I know what you think. You think I'm a nut. You could look it up. 5 years ago, Stacy's Mountainville Lodge in the Adirondacks. She called me. She was desperate. Come up here. He's going to kill me. I flew up. I found them. They were near a cliff. She was screaming for help. I started fighting him off. I guess he slipped. He fell over the side. He was killed. Look it up. Coroner's office. You'll see. An accident.
Let's assume I buy all this. How does it make her a witch?
Oh. She told me. She'll tell you afterwards. She's a witch. She falls in love with men, gets tired of them, and destroys them.
I think you must be...
I know. I'm here to warn you. But I'm going to kill her first.
Let me get you a cup of coffee.
You're a fool. I'm here to save your life.
Sure.
Okay. Look her up. I mean that. See if you can find a trace of her. See if you can find out where or when she was born, who her parents were. She has absolutely no background, I tell you.
Don't get excited.
Lord, this is all so familiar. All of this is what he said to me, and what I said to him. Back there, before I killed him.
Now, nobody's gonna kill anybody.
I don't know you. But you look like a nice guy. Take my advice. Save yourself. Save yourself.
I'm not sure I should be here with you tonight, Fred.
Well, you wouldn't let me visit you at home.
Oh, it just wouldn't look right.
Yeah, but it's all on the level. I'm a newspaper man. It's business. I'm doing a story.
I had a very proper upbringing.
Where were you raised, Hetty?
I'd rather not talk about it.
Why?
Well, I told you it was proper. But it wasn't happy. I shouldn't say this, but there were times when I thought my parents were ogres. Fred, is something wrong?
No. Gee, I just hope I didn't spill anything on you.
No. I didn't have a happy childhood. I don't like to discuss it.
Here's something we should discuss. I spoke with Tom this morning.
I think I know what he told you.
So far out, I even hesitate to mention it, but obviously he believes it.
I insisted that he see a psychiatrist. In fact, we both went. And it's the doctor's opinion that Tom is riddled with guilt. You see, he thinks he murdered Larry.
Larry?
My first husband. But Larry was a brute. I was very young, and we're really too young to know anything about people. Larry was a drunk. I didn't know that either. And when he had a few, he would abuse me. Well, I shouldn't have done it, but I was terrified. I called Tom, and he came up and got into a fight with Larry, and, well, there was that accident.
But why should he get that far-out notion about you?
According to the doctor, it had to be something... Well, something he could live with, something that could justify what he did, and he really has a vivid imagination.
Strikes me as a very sober-minded person, aside
He was
from...
a lit major at college. He became an accountant because he had to make a living. I don't know what I'm going to do about him, Fred. I've had so much trouble in my life, and he's really a wonderful guy, and I love him. Why does he want to destroy us? Why should he have a guilty conscience about Larry? Whatever happened was in self-defense.
Well, look, everything will turn out all right.
Oh, you're only saying that because you have to say something.
No, I believe it.
Hello?
Tom?
Yes, it's Tom.
But you said you were working late.
Well, I am. I just took a break for dinner. Join you?
Please.
Fred, you obviously didn't hear a word I said this morning, did you?
I heard every word.
Heard them all and listened to none?
Tom, you're not well, and I think we should...
I know what you think. You think we should go away for a rest and all that. Forget it. I know what I have to do, and I'm going to do it. Poor Fred. I feel sorry for you. You're in love with her.
To keep the record straight, I'm a reporter. There's a story here. I aim to get it.
Sure. That's what you tell yourself.
Let's go along with you, Tom. Suppose what you say is true. Suppose she's what you say she is. Why not walk out, get a divorce?
I can't.
Why?
I hope you never find out. You see, she destroys you. She takes away your capacity to love. Your feelings, your mind. It's as if you are only just nourishment for her. And when everything you have to give is gone, she discards you for someone else.
Tom, for your own sake, I think you should be under a doctor's care in a hospital.
I suppose I should. But I want to save you. It'll make up for Larry.
I must apologize, Fred, for exposing you to all this. I shouldn't have come here.
But you wanted to expose him to all this. That's why you came here. You knew I always eat here when I work late.
Tom, I'll do anything you want. Just tell me.
Disappear. As a supernatural person, you can arrange that without any problems.
Please, Fred, go now. Leave us alone.
But I don't want to.
He's my problem. I have to live with it. And if you stay, well, an audience always excites him.
Now look who finally showed up. What happened to that Nobel Prize for journalism you were working on?
Lieutenant, there is no Nobel Prize for journalism.
Oh, well, what happened anyhow?
I got off it all. Couldn't make heads or tails.
Well, we're still on it. As a matter of fact, information keeps pouring in all the time.
On her?
On him. Funny duck. He was always interested in spirits, that kind of thing. He wrote his master's thesis on something called, demonology.
Well, there's nothing there for me.
As a man or a reporter?
Both.
You know, I've been married 10 years, and I've never been tempted. But if I could be, she could do it. Oh, that dame is something.
I'm surprised at you, Lieutenant.
But there's hope for you. If what you say about the husband is true, he winds up in the loony bin, and after a respectable interval, she could be yours. That's what's in your mind, right?
You are the most cynical person I know.
Come off it. We're two of a kind. I'd even wait for her myself. Lieutenant Carroll.
Is, Fred Peterson there, please?
Hold on, I'll see. It's, the girl you love.
Cut it out.
Okay, the girl we love. You hear?
Yeah, I guess I'm here.
Take it.
Hello?
Fred, I'm scared.
What's the matter, Hetty?
Don't ask any questions. Just come to my place. Quickly. Come in, Fred. Oh, darling, I'm so glad you're here.
Hetty, why are you shaking like that?
I'm frightened. I'm so frightened.
Please, Hetty, calm down. I'm here. Everything is going to be all right.
I know it. I know. It's wrong for me to talk to you like this, to feel like this. But I can't help it.
No, we'll work it out. Somehow we'll work it out. Now. Why are you scared?
He asked me to take his suit to the cleaners this morning, and I've found this in his pocket.
It's a receipt.
Read it.
From Carrington's, one double-action Danforth Wilson revolver, caliber .32.
He bought a gun. Don't you see? He bought a gun.
All right.
Why would he buy a gun if he didn't want to kill me?
Well, I think we have enough to interest the police now.
Are you sure about that?
Tom?
Well, answer the question, Fred. What do you expect from the police? I have a permit for this gun. I have every right to own it.
Look, Tom, I get very nervous when people point guns at me. Maybe it's unreasonable, but do you mind putting that thing away?
Well, I will. After I use it.
No, Tom.
Don't be a fool. You're not a killer.
I always thought that. Till just now.
Tom, listen. Let's say you're right. That she is a witch, okay? Don't you see? You couldn't kill her anyhow. You'd empty the gun at her. It wouldn't mean a thing.
Fine. Why don't we find out?
I won't let you.
Get away from me, Fred.
No.
Come on, step aside.
Fred,
give me that gun. If you move, I'll kill you too.
Gun. Just lower it. Drop it.
Take it. I'm going to kill her.
No, drop it. Drop it.
Tom!
You did it. Again, Eddie. It did it. Again.
Call a doctor, Eddie.
What for? You poor sucker. You think she's not worth it. You think she's paradise? She is. She is. But it doesn't last. It doesn't last. And then she'll kill you. She'll kill you too.
Tom.
He's dead.
Tom.
You saw there was nothing I could do.
I know. I know.
Better call the police.
Lieutenant Carroll?
Lieutenant, it's Fred.
Hey, Fred, I got news for you. What I mean is I have absolutely no news for you.
Lieutenant, listen to me.
You know, we drew a complete blank on that dame. We trace her back to St. Louis City Hall, where she married a guy named Larry Bellows. She gave her home address as Charterville, Illinois. But there's no such place.
Listen, Lieutenant.
It's as if this dame just materialized out of thin air. No background at all.
Wait a minute. Hetty. Who are you?
Hello? Oh, Fred? Fred, why did you call?
Who are you, Hetty?
Fred, what's on your mind?
Hetty.
I warned you 3 times, Fred. I warned you 3 times.
And how many warnings would you have needed? Or heeded? That's the trouble. When they have honey blonde hair, it's so hard to take them seriously. A mistake. You should always take every woman seriously. We'll be back shortly. Are there really witches? Everyone must keep his own counsel on the matter. However, if you should happen upon a damsel in distress, and she has honey blonde hair and baby blue eyes, remember, we warned you 3 times. Our cast included Joan Loring, Mason Adams, Tom Keena, Alan Manson, and Sam Gray. The entire production was under the direction of Hyman Brown. This is E.G. Marshall inviting you to return to our Mystery Theater for another adventure in the macabre. Until next time, pleasant dreams. Come in. Welcome. I'm E.G. Marshall. Welcome to the terrifying world of the imagination. I am a man normally filled with the milk of human kindness, but prepared, I'm afraid, to curdle your blood with a tale not of life and death, but rather death and life. I offer you one small comfort. It could hardly happen today. But in the last century, on the old Montgomery estate in Maryland, in the great, dark, rambling house called Westerly, it was easier to be marked for death than in this one.
Yes, Mother. You look at home in your coffin. Sleep fast. It's taken many years, but you've made your son a very happy man. It's all mine at last. Westerly, the money, the jewels. I'm my own man. How I've hated you the way you kept me on a leash like some old hound dog. Well, now the money's mine. And you'll hardly need those rings they've let you wear to your grave. I'll take them so I can buy me. You'd hang on to them even if that... But you're alive. You're not dead.
Help me.
I should have known you'd come back to haunt me, even before we got you to the grave.
Our mystery drama, Cold Storage, was written especially for the Mystery Theater by Ian Martin and stars Ruby Dee and John Barragray. I'll be back shortly with Act One. Some ghouls robbing a grave. Many years before, Buford Montgomery found himself engaged in essentially the same activity. Were every bit as shocked when the corpse whose rings they were tearing off suddenly sat up, alive. An epileptic seizure in other times could counterfeit death. The ghouls, of course, had a recourse. They ran away. Buford Montgomery has to stay and face his problem.
Buford, will you put me down?
When I'm ready.
I am quite able to walk.
I want to make sure you don't run.
What are you talking about? What are you doing? Locking me in? No, keep away from me.
It's all right, Mother. I'm not going to harm you.
I heard you standing over me in that coffin. I want to... I need Dr. Wayne.
That doddering old numbskull. He almost had you buried alive. You know he signed your death certificate.
But how could he? I am alive.
Oh, yes. I'm quite satisfied you are no ghost.
But what happened?
Another of your epileptic seizures.
Oh.
We were all convinced this one was fatal. At last.
Only it wasn't. Quite a disappointment to my beloved son. Well, at least I know now where we stand. Now, you open that door and send Hannah up to me.
Not yet, Mother.
Why?
Because, you see, we don't really know just quite how we stand, do we?
Buford, don't you look at me like that.
How was I looking, Mama dear?
You want me dead, back in that coffin.
I want all the things I thought were finally mine. The house, the estate, the money, and most of all, the freedom to be a man.
Oh.
Look at me, Mama. Listen to me call you that, Mama. A grown man, 38 years old, tied to his mother's apron strings like some sniveling little boy.
I never meant to keep you tied down.
Oh, yes, you did. You even did it with the judge. Father's life wasn't his own either. You killed him.
You are mad. Keep away. Keep away. You want to kill me.
I'm not going to kill you, Mama. You know I haven't got the strength of will for that.
Oh, of course you won't, son. But you can have anything you want now we've had this little talk. Now, please get Hannah like a good boy.
Oh, no, Mama. I don't need you anymore. You left me everything in your will.
But I'm not dead.
To all the world except me, you are. And you're going to stay that way.
If you come one step closer, I'll scream.
No one will hear you. Not in this big old house. Westerly's thick walls have no ears.
What are you going to do to me?
You'll see, Mother. You'll see.
Look, you're going to put me back in that coffin and bury me alive.
Yes. I haven't any choice now.
Please.
Don't worry. You'll be quite comfortable. I'm going to bury you alive. But not in the coffin. Hannah!
Yes, Master Buford?
I want you here, in the hall.
What is it, sir?
Where's William?
He's in the stable, Master, grooming the horses for the funeral tomorrow. You want I should fetch him?
No, not yet. Sit down. I want to talk to you.
Yes, sir?
Now, where to begin? Hannah, you were mighty beholden to my father, weren't you?
Judge Montgomery was a fine man.
Was very kind to you and your son.
The judge was powerful good to me and William.
And my mother?
Mrs. Montgomery is a fine lady. It's been a privilege to have served her as housekeeper.
And will you consider it a privilege to serve me in the same capacity?
If you want me, sir.
And William?
Where I go, William goes. You know, he's just a great big overgrown baby. Has to be cared for like one.
Or they'd shut him away somewheres,
I wouldn't ever let them do that to my boy. He couldn't stand being shut in. You wouldn't let them do that to him, would you, Master Buford?
Not if I can count on you to help me.
You can, sir. You can.
Well, what about William?
He does what I tell him. He's old as you are, but he has the mind of a child.
I'd want to be absolutely sure of both of you.
I don't understand you, Master Buford.
Then I'll make myself plainer. I think you must have always hated my mother. Why did you stay on after Father died?
I stayed because where else could I go?
You're sure it wasn't because you were afraid?
Afraid of what?
Not of, Hannah. For William. Right? Oh, don't look so terrified and trapped. I know it all, Hannah. I know it all.
Master Buford,
How you must really hate us all. Even Father at the end.
Not the judge. Never the judge.
Even after what he made you sign?
What would the judge ever have wanted me to sign?
A confession that you saw your son William commit a murder 10 years ago.
Oh. How did you know?
It's one of the advantages of my dear mother's unexpected death. It was among the papers the lawyer turned over to me.
So she did know. All these years. How could Randolph have done that to me?
You know why. You were an eyewitness. And you know that William wasn't alone.
It was an accident. And you were only boys.
Pretty old for boys, Hannah. We were both going on 19. And the Copley kid was only 15. It was only my father being a judge that saved us all. Any jury in horse country like this could have told that boy's neck wasn't broken by any fall from a horse. The finger marks were gouged into the flesh. The rope burns were raw on his wrists.
Why did you do it, Master Buford?
Not I, Hannah. Remember? William was the culprit.
William didn't know what he was doing. You egged him on.
If I did, I didn't mean it to go so far. William doesn't know his own strengths.
What does it matter? It's nearly 20 years ago. Why do you rake up old ashes?
There are certain things I have to be sure of.
What?
In spite of everything, your complete loyalty to me.
I have little choice. If you have any confession...
I have it. In your own handwriting. And William's scrawl, too. I'm going to ask you to stretch your conscience further. Come with me.
No, Master Buford. Don't bring me to the coffin. I don't want to look at her.
Stop babbling.
I don't want to.
Stop babbling. Here. Look. Open your eyes.
Oh! It's empty. She's gone. What have you done with her?
She's in her bedroom. Upstairs.
But she...
I'm afraid that blind old boggler, Dr. Wayne, slightly exaggerated my mother's untimely end.
You mean she's alive?
And unfortunately quite well. I see the news is as disappointing to you as it was to me. Oh, don't hide it, Hannah. You know you hated her quite as much as I.
I won't deny it. The humiliation. The day-by-day degradations your mother has put me through all these years since your father died. I can never forgive her for them.
I'm glad to hear it.
When she was dead, I was glad. God forgive me. It was one of the happiest days of my life.
And mine. That's why she's going to stay dead, Hannah.
You're mad. You can't murder your own mother.
Nothing is further from my mind. No, dear Mama will come to no physical harm. You and William will see to it that her bodily needs are well taken care of. And I, as complete master of Westerly at last, will see to it in turn that you and William are taken care of.
What are you going to do with her?
First of all, Hannah, you're going to explain to William. Then bring him here so we can nail up this coffin and the burial services can be completed tomorrow.
Master Buford, no, you can't.
Better tell William to bring a sack of meal or corn. Won't do to have the coffin too light.
How on earth can you hide your mother from everyone?
On earth. That's very apt. I'll tell you what we're going to do with her, Hannah. Just what we do with the roots and the preserves. We're going to put Mama in cold storage. Make sure to drive them home, William.
Do seem a shame burying a whole good sack of good feed. I picked up the wormiest one I could find.
That's enough now. Finish up.
Finished now.
Got the lantern, Hannah?
Yes, sir.
All right. Did you strip the bed in the spare room, Hannah?
Yes, sir, I did.
William, you go on up there and bring that bed and all the furniture downstairs to the old hidey hole, right?
Sure will.
Where's this hidey hole?
William could tell you as good as me. Or better. He's the one who found it. Must be, 15 years ago.
16, Master Buford. That was the year Miss Prudence dropped her first foal. That's when old Mr. Todd Hunter, the vet man, told me all about his daddy and your grandfather and how they dug out the hidey hole and made it out of a big room like a station on the Underground Railroad.
William, go see to the furniture.
Yes'm. Take me a while to get the bed apart.
Take your time.
The Underground Railroad? You mean this was a slave station? To hide out escaped slaves being passed to the north?
What it was.
But you can't put your mother in a place like that.
Why not? She spent her lifetime trying to turn the clock back, make a slave of everyone else. Why shouldn't it be her turn? For a change.
How sharper than a serpent's tooth it is to have a thankless child, as King Lear had occasion to remark. Still, on the record, Mama is not much of a prize either. Let's leave her in cold storage until we return shortly with Act 2. In the weeks that pass, Mrs. Randolph Price Montgomery is finding her quarters somewhat less elegant than she liked, but at least they are less confining than a coffin. Buford, her son and now heir, has been living as high as he promised himself, in cutting a swath as the county's most sought-after bachelor.
I declare, Buford, I thought I'd never be able to coax you away from all the other ladies.
Nancy Lee, they may have had my arms, but my heart was with you.
Well, I'd have felt a lot sure of that if I'd had your name a little more often in my car.
I just don't want us to get talked about too much.
Well, why ever not? Would you be ashamed to have your name linked with mine?
Why, Nancy Lee, you know better than that.
Aren't you going to sit with me, sugar?
Oh, why, sure, honey.
Hold my hand.
Just lies in mine like a little bird.
Now that's more like my beauty. Kiss me.
Angel.
Still the same old thrill.
Gives me goosebumps all over.
Oh, that's nice. I wouldn't want to think I'd lost the power to get you going.
Why would you think that?
Well, I'll tell you, Buford. I thought when your mother died, it would give us a chance to be closer than ever. I mean, since we could come right out in the open. I didn't think it would start you chasing after every pretty girl in sight.
I wouldn't take a one of them, or exchange any of them for you.
Now, I'm right glad to hear you say that, sugar, because I'm afraid you're not going to be a bachelor anymore.
Huh?
I got something to tell you. You're going to have to go back to being a family man again, I'm afraid.
What? What are you saying?
That you're going to be a daddy. Aren't you proud?
Good Lord. Are you sure?
That I'm in a family way? Well, it's very easy for a girl to be sure of that.
Well, what are we going to do?
Well, with Mama gone, there's no problem at all. You're just going to have to make an honest woman of me. My parents surely won't object. And you wouldn't want the colonel to come after you with a gun, knowing that my daddy is the best shot in South Carolina.
Now, wait a minute, Nancy Lee.
Oh, sugar, you know I'm only funning. And I know you're going to be every bit as happy as I am once you get used to it. Oh, honey, aren't you just thrilled to death? We're going to get married.
Come in.
Excuse me, Master Buford.
What is it, Hannah?
It's about Mrs. Montgomery.
She isn't that yet.
I meant your mother, sir.
Oh. Well, what about her?
She keeps asking for you.
Well, tell her I'm... Just don't tell her anything. You haven't said anything about the wedding tomorrow.
No, sir, but...
But what?
About your mother. She wants to talk to you. And it does seem so inhumane to keep her locked up alone.
She sees you or William every day, doesn't she?
Yes.
Her quarters are comfortable and clean, aren't they?
Yes.
She's in perfectly good health?
Oh, yes, never better.
More's the pity. Well, then?
She's lonely.
So was I all those years she had me under her thumb. And I'm not going back to that. By tomorrow, I'm going to have my own woman. And a beauty at that. Mother's not going to spoil that for me.
Yes, sir. I'm sorry, sir.
Good. Now get out of here. And take the whiskey carafe with you and fill it up. It's almost empty again.
Yes, sir, Master Buford. Sir? William?
Yes, Mama?
Take this carafe and fill it with Master Buford's bourbon and bring it back to him in his study.
Yes'm. I reckon old Master Buford's getting himself liquored up for the bachelor party.
I reckon he's trying to build himself some Dutch courage.
What do you mean, Ma?
I mean, I don't think he exactly figured on getting tied up again when he cut his mama's apron strings.
Oh, look at that. It started to rain. Such a pretty night, too.
Let's go on up to bed,
My husband. All he ever seems to think of now he's made me his little goods and chattel.
Nancy Lee, all I mean was I'm tired.
Tired of me after 2 short weeks?
You know I didn't mean that.
Oh, come in and lay your head on Mama's breast.
Don't say that.
What happened? Don't be so sensitive. Your Mama's dead and gone.
Yes.
Although sometimes, I swear to goodness, I get the feeling in this rickety old house she's still sort of around.
Oh? What makes you think that?
Well, don't jump so, darling. It's just a spooky feeling. Maybe you and me should have gotten rid of Westerly and gone back on to South Carolina with Mom and Pop.
No. We can't leave here.
Well, all right, sugar, don't take on so.
I didn't mean to jump at you.
Oh, of course you didn't. You were just so kind to little old me, and you were so generous to lend the Colonel all that money to go back south with Mama to build up our old lovely old plantation again.
It must be the size of half the state what it's costing to restore it.
Well, it had gotten run down, sort of, but you've nothing to worry about, Buford. You'll get the money back.
Of course, Nancy Lee. What is it?
Oh, this old porch. It's starting to leak like a sieve.
I'll have William look at it in the morning.
That big old lame brain. Buford, if we're going to stay here at Westerly, I want some changes made. I'd like to do some rebuilding.
We can discuss that in the morning.
I want some new servants. I don't want that silly old William and Hannah around. They've got to go.
No.
But Buford...
Whatever happens, William and Hannah stay. and we stay. That's final.
My Buford, you are so masterful when you get mad I could just swoon. Come on, let's go on up to bed, and I'll show you just how wonderful it is to be married.
I came out with your mother's tray, Master Buford, and she nearly caught me.
What the Sam Hill was Nancy Lee doing in the cellar?
I don't know.
She didn't see anything.
I'm sure not.
Does she suspect anything?
I don't think
Damn that woman.
That's her now.
Get out, Hannah. I'll handle this.
Yes, sir.
Nancy Lee, what the devil were you doing down in the cellar?
No need to take on, so I was just making up my mind where to put the wine cellar.
What wine cellar?
The one we're going to build in the back there.
What for?
Well, I intend to start entertaining, having guests to stay. Well, bring this house alive.
No. No wine cellar and no guests. And you stay out of that downstairs.
Don't you order me around. I'll do what I want in my own house.
What did you mean by locking me out of our bedroom last night?
I don't allow anyone who can't behave like a gentleman in my room.
If you think just by withholding your favors from me you can get your own way...
You listen to me, Buford. One way or another, I always get my own way, and don't you forget it.
Master Buford, you can't sleep here on the floor, sir.
What? Oh, yes. Gotcha, Hannah. Own wife won't let me in bedroom.
Come on, sir. You've been drinking. I've made you up a bed in one of the guest rooms.
Want to sleep on bedrooms, not guest room. Ironic, isn't it, Hannah? Don't have much luck with the ladies, huh? Out of the frying pan into the fire. She's got to go. Except can't, because of baby. Got the child to think of. Can't figure that one out.
William, is my horse ready?
Morning, Nancy Lee. My, ain't you the prettiest thing?
I asked about my horse.
Oh, yes, Miss Nancy. I combed and curried and shined that old horse.
Would you bring him around to the front?
Yes, sir, Miss Nancy.
And the name is Mrs. Montgomery.
Yes, Mrs. Montgomery.
Oh, get out of my sight. When you bring him around, let me know. I'll be in the parlor. Buford?
Here.
Hannah said you wanted to see me.
I want to talk to you.
I'm afraid I don't have time. I'm going riding.
That's what I want to talk to you about. Do you think it's wise?
What?
All this riding. In your condition.
In my condition? Oh, Lance. I'd near forgotten.
Forgotten? How could you forget the baby you're carrying?
I'm sure I wouldn't if I were. Only I'm not. I never had one.
What?
Oh, Buford, don't splutter so. If you'd half a brain in your head, you'd have realized that long ago.
It was all a trick to get me to marry you.
At the time, you seemed such a catch, and the competition was a little heavy, so I thought I'd just make sure of you. And it worked. I'm really sorry to have disappointed you about the child.
Disappointed? You don't know how relieved I am. Now there's no problem.
What do you mean, no problem?
To end this marriage, to get a divorce.
You think that's no problem?
It shouldn't be. I'm prepared to make a reasonable settlement.
And just what would you consider reasonable, Mr. Montgomery?
We can waive the money I loaned your father and call it a day.
The money you loaned my father? That wasn't a loan. That was a little payoff for a nice background of Southern gentility to trap me a man. The Colonel and his wife are just as phony as I am, dear heart, and they are long gone. I'm where I want to be, with a name I like, and I'm not giving it up for anyone. You are never going to get rid of little Nancy Lee. No how, no way at all. Now, if you'll excuse me, dear husband, Why, Hannah. Hello. Did you get a nice earful?
The door was open, Mrs. Montgomery, and William asked me to come in here and tell you that he's waiting outside with your horse.
He could have told me himself.
And I hope that damn beast throws her and breaks her neck.
All right, Hannah, what are you waiting for?
It's your mother, sir. She's in a state. She insists on seeing you.
No. I've had enough of Montgomery women for one day. Tell her I... No. Forget that, Hannah. I've changed my mind. I think I will pay Mama a visit. I have a little surprise for her.
But you can't be so cruel, Buford. Keeping me here locked up like an animal. You've got to let me go.
You know I can't do that, Mother. I've explained again and again why you can't suddenly turn up alive.
Oh, but I can't stand it anymore. It's like being buried alive. Oh, Buford, it's so lonely.
I know that, Mama. And I know it just plain isn't fair. So I thought of a solution.
Oh, what, dear?
How would you like to have a nice, permanent companion?
Did I make an unguarded statement that Buford was no match for the ladies? Perhaps in one sense that's true, but in another, well, it seems that Nancy Lee is going to have cause to regret her match with Buford. We'll find that out shortly when we return with Act 3. Now, it's one thing to get away with disposing of someone already legally certified as dead and supposedly suitably interred. Nancy Lee is another problem. She can't have a convenient epileptic seizure. Can Buford get away with it?
Nancy Lee, I've been thinking about us.
Don't waste your time. Nothing's going to change. I've got nobody but you and nowheres in the whole wide world to go. I'm a permanent fixture, Buford.
Oh, I know that, honey. And I was wrong to think anything else. Don't you know I really want you here with all my heart?
On my terms. Don't you try to fancy talk me.
Won't you please let me tell you what I was thinking about?
If you'll make it short
and sweet. What I was going to suggest, just to clear the air, sort of, and give us both a chance to get a new perspective, was a trip.
I don't want to go anywheres with you.
Oh, I didn't mean together. I meant just you alone, sugar. Washington, Baltimore, Philadelphia. You could buy yourself a whole new wardrobe, like it was the trousseau you never really had.
Oh, Washington, Baltimore, Philadelphia.
Even Paris, France, if you want.
Paris, France. Oh, Buford. Do you mean it?
Anything's worth trying just to work things out for us. And to prove I mean it, you just go tell all your friends and everyone around that you're on your way.
Oh, won't I make them squirm with envy? Washington, Philadelphia, Paris, France.
Then you'll go?
What woman would pass up the chance? Well, I'll ride everywhere this week and let everyone know. Just one thing, Buford, you ought to understand.
Well, what's that, sugar?
This doesn't change anything. I'm still going to spend the rest of my life right here in this house.
Oh, I know that, Nancy Lee. I know that for sure.
Master Buford, you just can't get away with it.
Now you hush up, Hannah. I'm going to.
But what will other people say?
There's nothing for them to say. Nancy Lee went off on a little trip, and she never came back.
Master Buford, you're flying in the face of God.
Hannah, to the devil with it. Now you do as I say, here?
Yes, sir.
Now you and William have already got the extra bed set up downstairs, and the chest of drawers and so on.
Yes, sir.
Fine. Then get busy and take all Miss Montgomery's clothes downstairs. Shouldn't take you too long. Most of her wardrobe is already packed.
What am I going to tell your mother? Ever since we moved the extra furniture in, she's been like to drive me out of my mind asking questions.
You haven't told her who to expect.
You said not to.
That's quite right, Hannah. We have to preserve the proprieties. I think it's my place to introduce my mother to my bride.
Oh, Miss Montgomery?
What is it, Hannah?
Master Buford asked me to have you go right downstairs as soon as you got back from riding.
But I want a bath and change.
He said right away, the moment you got here.
Why?
He said he had a little surprise for you.
Oh, very well. Buford?
Nancy Lee?
Yes, what do you want me for?
Come on down, I'll show you.
Oh, for goodness sake. Hold that lantern a little higher, I can't see.
How's that?
Better.
Right over here by the back wall.
Hannah said you had a surprise. Why, Buford, you're going to do it.
Do what?
Put in my wine cellar while I'm gone.
Something like that.
Of course, we'll have to build regular bins instead of these old rickety shelves. You know what I thought when I was looking about down here before?
Oh, what was that?
If we tore down these shelves, well, what I mean is, I was sort of stepping off the house upstairs, and it's some longer than this cellar.
Is it?
Yes, I walked off the cellar, too. You suppose there might be any room behind there we could sort of scoop out to make it bigger?
Now, why don't you and me just try and find out?
Why don't we? Of course, I reckon we'll need help.
Oh, I don't think so. It might be quite easy. Like this, for example.
It's a secret door. And a room. There's someone in there.
A room you're going to be sharing for a long time.
No, I won't go in there.
Oh, yes, you will.
I'll scream.
You'll do as you're told. You bit my hand.
You can't.
Get in there.
You can't keep me in here. I'll scratch your eyes out of.
Oh, no, you won't. You'll keep your mouth shut for once and do as you're told.
Oh, no, I won't. You wouldn't dare shoot me.
Don't tempt me.
Buford, put that pistol down.
No. It can't be. Who are you?
Don't you remember the first Mrs. Montgomery?
But Your mother's dead.
A popular misconception. Let's just keep this private, shall we?
You're really Judge Montgomery's wife?
Certainly. Buford, what is this slut doing here?
Now, Mama, that's not nice.
Isn't this that Nancy Lee person I warned you to stay away from?
Yes, sir. Maybe about the one time you were right, Mama.
Well, get her out of here. I don't want her. And I demand you release me, too.
You know I can't do that. The best I can do is provide you with Nancy Lee.
You're not going to lock me up with this horrid old woman.
Now, that's no way to talk to your mother-in-law.
What?
Oh, I'm sorry, Mama. In all the excitement, I forgot to tell you. Nancy Lee's my bride. We got married. That makes you both Mrs. Montgomerys. That's how come I thought it would work out real nice to have you roommates. Sort of keep it all in the family.
Ma!
Sakes alive, William. You startled me so I almost burnt my hand on the stove.
Ma, what are we going to do?
What is it, son? Here, sit down. You're shaking all over.
You know that big old stone you wanted down in the preserve cellar to make a table of? For making cornmeal and such?
Yes.
Well, a while ago I took it to bring it on down for you.
You lifted that heavy stone by yourself?
It's what happened when I was down there.
What?
Well, I didn't have no light, and I didn't hear Master Buford come on down there. But all of a sudden, I see him light a lantern. And as far as I can say anything, Mrs. Montgomery come on down there to join him.
I know. I sent her down there.
You? You knew what he was going to do to her?
Son, you got to understand. I can't help myself.
You knew he was going to throw her in that hidey hole with old Mrs. Montgomery?
I knew.
But she's so pretty. And he hurt her, Ma. Master Buford hurt her. He took that little girl that's like a little chickadee bird. And he's going to shut her up in there.
Don't think about it now, son.
I gotta think on it. I couldn't be shut up, Ma. I couldn't be shut up nowhere.
I know that, son.
I'll just take my own throat
with my hands like I done with someone a long time ago.
Don't, William. Don't do that to yourself.
No. Not to me. To Master Buford. To Master Buford, unless he lets her go. That's who I got to.
No, William, no. Listen to me. Let me explain.
Let me go, Ma. Let go.
William, you've got to understand that
Ma? Ma, you all right? I hope I didn't hurt you. Ma? No. You all right? Just sleeping. I'll wake you, Ma. I'll wake you just as soon as I set that poor little bird free.
I spent my life trying to get free of you, Mama, and I did. Then I got myself trapped again. Now I've got to get free of Nancy Lee, too. Goodbye. You'll never see me again.
You can't leave me here with this old woman. I can't be shut up anymore. You've been drinking again. You look drunk.
I feel drunk. Drunk with relief. Hannah and William are all you'll ever see from now on. As far as I care, you can both rot. What's that funny smell? My head. I need a drink. What? Who's that?
It's me, Master Buford. I'm sorry for what I got to do. Master Buford. Master Buford. I didn't mean to do nothing, Master. I didn't mean to do nothing. It was just a bird has to fly free. You can't keep it locked up.
William? William? Are you down there?
I'm here, Ma.
What are you doing? What's happened? Where's Master Buford?
I'm glad you woke up, Ma. Something's happened to Master Buford.
Oh, my God. Move aside. Let me see.
I didn't mean him no harm. It was just Miss Nancy. I didn't want to hurt him, Ma. Ma?
He's dead. Oh, William. William, you killed him.
I never even touched him, Ma.
How would you know? Poor twisted mind. How would you know? Heaven help me. What are we going to do now? I've got to think.
Well, I'm all packed. And William is taking my things down to the carriage now. What about you, Mother?
I suppose you have to call me that.
We might as well get used to it. Just as you'll have to try to sound a little fonder when you talk to your daughter, Nancy Lee.
Very well. Nancy Lee. And I not only am all packed, but my trunks have already been taken to the railroad station.
All ready for our new life?
Yes.
Oh, come on now. This was all worked out before the funeral.
And you've had a lovely time of it, haven't you? Playing the bereaved widow, being wined and dined in sad farewell. Well, I had to stay hidden at home.
Well, you could scarcely come popping out of the grave without creating a legal snarl.
I know. It's better this way. I hope we can smuggle me out successfully.
At night, in Hannah's cave, there'll be no question.
Nothing left to be done.
I don't think so. Hannah and William will stay with the house until the estate is sold, and the lawyer will forward us the money wherever we settle.
Wherever we settle. You and I. Not much of a life to look forward to.
It's the best your son left us.
Your husband, Buford. I wonder about his death.
Why? The doctor certified it as a heart attack. You don't think William...
Oh, no. William is so simple-minded that if he says he never touched him, he never did. No, it was something else.
What?
That was the same doctor who wrote out my death certificate. You don't suppose Buford by any chance could have had epilepsy? It's a disease that does run in the family, you know.
If Sarah Montgomery should have been right, then poor Buford went to far more than his just reward. After all, the coffin was already in the ground for over a week. But that's really too horrible a prospect to dwell on, isn't it? I'll return shortly. Before I go, I really do owe you an apology for that quite dreadful picture of poor Buford Montgomery awaking to far more confined quarters than he condemned his mother to. But as a storyteller, you have to agree, the irony is perfect. And then, of course, also, I did promise to curdle your blood. Our cast included John Barragray, Ruby Dee, Bryna Rayburn, Roxy Roker, and Todd Davis. The entire production was under the direction of Hyman Brown, inviting you to return to our Mystery Theater for another adventure in the macabre. Until next time, pleasant dreams. Come in. Welcome. I am E.G. Marshall. Welcome to the sound of suspense, to the fear you can hear. For the next 52 minutes, I will be your trainer. I say trainer because we are concerned with a horse, a remarkable, powerful stallion who not only runs, but who thinks. And what does he think about? In our spine-tingling tale, he will think most about revenge.
Go, Spartacus, go! You'll find him. You'll catch him. And when you do, he's yours. All yours.
Emily! Emily, here I am!
See him, Spartacus. See him.
I'm here, Emily!
Get him.
What?
Go, get him!
Go!
Our mystery drama, Death Rides a Stallion, was written especially for the Radio Mystery Theater by Sam Dan and stars Mason Adams. I'll be back shortly with Act One. He's a big 5-year-old chestnut stallion. He's in the prime of his glorious life. He has fire in his eyes and steel springs in his legs. The powerful muscles ripple beneath his shiny, velvety coat. And he also has a mind of his own. He's a rebel who acknowledges no master. That's why he's called Spartacus. But if he has no master, he does have a mistress. A slender, freckle-faced girl named Emily. And he will respond to her slightest touch, her softest whisper.
Whoa, Spartacus. Right here. Steady, boy. Steady. Good boy. Listen, Spartacus. Here he comes now. Here I am, Frank. Good morning, Uncle Harry.
Oh, morning, Emily. Do I detect a faint tone of disappointment?
Disappointment? Oh, why, Uncle Harry, you're my favorite human being.
Oh, I have the impression that you were expecting someone else.
Who, me? Well, I wasn't expecting anybody.
Oh. Look, I don't say that Lollygag here is in a class with Spartacus, but we challenge you to race.
Well...
How about here to Parsons Creek?
Now?
Unless you just want to stand around all day.
The truth is, Uncle Harry, I am waiting for somebody.
Oh, that's the secret of your early morning rides. And who is your partner in these assignations?
Frank.
Oh. Well, there's no accounting for taste, I suppose. I think I'll commune with nature on my own. Up, Lolly, hip.
Uncle Harry, wait! Whoa there, Lolly.
Emily, if everybody listened to you the way the horses do, you could rule the world.
Uncle Harry, do you know what I think?
No, ma'am, you're too deep for me.
I think this morning Frank's going to ask me.
Ask you what?
Ask me what? Ask me to marry him, of course.
Why would Frank do that?
Why would he... Oh, I suppose I'm not really pretty enough for a man to ask.
No, Emily, I never meant to imply that. Why, you're even prettier than Judy.
No, I'm not. Nowhere near.
Well, it's just that I thought...
What did you think?
Well, Emily, it's obvious that Frank really...
What's obvious is that you dislike Frank, and therefore you don't even bother to know him. Frank looks for more than a pretty face.
Has he given you any indication?
Well, of course he has.
Really? What did he say?
He didn't say anything. Does he have to?
It would help.
Uncle Harry, I know by the tone of his voice, the way he looks at me, everything about him, everything tells me he loves me, and I love him. Oh, how I love him. You think I'm crazy?
I think I'll ride back to the house and have some breakfast.
Well, this is the last time I'll bare my soul to you.
Darling, look, I wouldn't want you to get hurt.
I'm a big girl now.
You don't know very much about men.
Maybe, but I know what I like.
Well, sounds like company's coming. Hi.
Good morning, sir. Good morning, Emily.
Good morning, Frank.
Well, look who's here. Kind of early in the day for you, Judy.
I know, but we're out to spread the news.
What news?
Oh, Emily, darling, it's only right that you should be the first to know. After all, you introduced us. Frank and I, we're engaged.
And we owe it all to you, Emily. We owe it all to you.
And I want you to be my maid of honor. Now, promise. Oh, Emily, darling, I'm so happy. I'm so happy.
Judy and I'll never forget what you've done for us, Emily.
Can you believe this wild man? This fantastic Frank? He asked me just 5 minutes ago. I mean, I've been proposed to in my time, but never on horseback. It's another Judy Montgomery. Fabulous first. Frank, let's ride back to the house and tell Mother. See ya.
Go, boy.
Emily.
They used to say, always a bridesmaid. But this time I'm doing better.
Emily, I tried to tell you.
I'm maid of honor. Maybe I'm getting there.
Emily, he's not worth it.
He is to me.
Darling, please don't ride this morning.
Why not?
You're upset.
I'm not upset.
Oh, I can tell.
All right, I'm upset.
Emily, you'll get over it.
I'm over it now.
Emily, dear, one day you'll meet it.
I'll never get over
Emily,
it.
believe me.
Let's go, Spartacus. Go.
Emily, wait. Emily.
Go.
Emily.
Come on, Spartacus.
Emily.
Come on.
Slow down.
Faster, Spartacus, faster.
Emily, you'll hurt your horse.
Faster, Spartacus.
Emily, please, you'll kill yourself.
Go, Spartacus, go.
Emily, look out.
Jump, Spartacus, up.
Emily, stop.
Up, Spartacus, up.
Emily! Oh. Oh, no. No. Emily. Come in.
You wanted to see me, sir?
Oh, it's you, Frank. Yes, sit down.
Thank you.
Wait till I shut off this music.
Oh, let it play. It was her favorite rhapsody.
So it was. How are the ladies?
Well, Judy and Mrs. Montgomery have gone to bed. It's been a terrible ordeal. But with the coroner, why was all that necessary?
You have to establish the cause of death.
Well, wasn't it obvious? What a thoroughly obnoxious man. Why did he have to ask so many questions when he knew from the start that his verdict would be accidental death?
There isn't anything that I could do about it. But I disagree with the verdict.
Well, what other verdict is possible?
Murder.
Murder? What? Do you mean someone killed her?
Yes.
Who?
You.
Me?
Yes, you.
But that's impossible.
Why is it impossible?
Well, because I wasn't even there.
You were there.
What are you saying, sir?
You don't have to call me sir. Don't pretend with me. I can see through you. You're a young hustler on the make.
You have no right to accuse me of it.
You used Emily to get to Judy. You're going to marry Judy for her money.
I don't think I have to sit here and listen to
There's nothing intrinsically wrong with marrying for money. Does anyone seriously believe that poverty improves the quality of love? I married Mrs. Montgomery's sister for her money. Yes, I married her for her money. She married me for my looks, and both of us knew it. And we've had a perfect marriage. But you're a scoundrel, and you won't even give Judy her money's worth.
Now, look here, sir.
I said don't call me sir. You can relax with me. Don't be afraid. Even though every word I say is true, I couldn't prove any of it.
None of it's true. You accuse me of killing Emily. That's a lie. You say I was there. You know I wasn't there. I was with Judy. We were riding back to the house. You know it for a fact.
Have a drink.
I don't drink.
Don't say it so smugly. You have other vices that are worse. I say you were with Emily.
I was not.
No, don't interrupt. Since the very day you met Emily or arranged to meet her, you've been with her always.
I think you're mad.
That's my saving grace.
But to say that I was with Emily when you know...
You were with her as far as she was concerned.
I don't know what you're talking about.
So few girls like Emily in the world. Oh, what a shame that you had to waste one of them. You knew that she was in love with you.
Well, love, I'd say it was a crush.
Girls like Emily don't have crushes. They fall in love only once, and it's forever. She was in love with you, and you know it. Admit it.
What is this, an inquisition? I don't have to put up with
this. Of course you don't, but don't try my patience either. I'm doing this for your good.
For my good?
Make it difficult for me, and I'll wash my hands of the whole business.
Why do you say for my good?
If she fell in love with you of her own accord, well, that's a tragedy, but it's her tragedy. But if you made her fall in love with you, you're guilty of murder.
Why?
Because you knew it would kill her. The fact that you were only playing with her would kill her. The fact that you were only using her would kill her.
All right. Maybe I did lead her to believe that I was in love with her.
And it's murder in the first degree. Premeditated.
I didn't know she'd take it this way.
You knew. You knew it would destroy her one way or another.
Okay, Harry. I killed her. That's what you want me to say, isn't it?
Yes. Well, maybe she'll forgive you.
Oh, come on, Harry. That's unworthy of you. Sure, I killed her. And you know why it doesn't destroy me? Because she was a girl who walked around saying to the whole world, kill me. Please, somebody kill me. She was so trusting, so naive. Anybody could have broken her heart. Anybody could have betrayed her. Nobody has the right to be that defenseless. I was just the guy who happened along.
Yes. Well, despite it all, she'll forgive you.
Sure, Harry.
Don't humor me. She loves you. And when she loves forever. A little thing like death isn't going to stop her.
Good morning, Mac.
Morning, Mr. Frank. You gonna ride? Who do you want?
Spartacus.
You do, huh?
Saddle him.
Saddle him, the man says.
What's the problem?
The problem's right there in the corral. You can look at the problem. You can listen to the problem. You want to ride Spartacus, Mr. Frank? You go in there. You put the saddle on him.
How long has he been acting up?
More than a week now, since we lost Miss Emily.
How long can he go on like that?
Oh, for another 5 minutes. Or for the rest of his life. Poor Spartacus. He's kind of in mourning, that's all. Oh, Miss Judy said she'd wait for you at Parsons Creek. I got Bolivar saddled up.
You know, Frank, ever since I was a little girl, nice things have always happened to me here at Parsons Creek. You're not listening, Frank.
Judy, darling, I wait breathlessly for each word.
No, your mind is somewhere else, and I won't have it. I want all of your attention. Now, what have you been staring at for the past few minutes?
Judy, look straight ahead toward that clump of birches at the edge of the field.
Why?
There's a horse standing there.
I don't see anything.
Big chestnut. If I didn't know that Spartacus was back in the corral...
Have you had breakfast?
No, but that doesn't...
It's the most important meal of the day. You're probably seeing things because you're faint with hunger.
What do you mean you don't see anything?
And it gives you a bad temper, too.
Judy, don't joke with
Missing
me.
breakfast is no joke. We're going to go right back and get you some.
That's Spartacus standing there, and someone is on him. Wait. Whoever it was just moved behind the trees. Come on.
Where?
We're right over there. I'll prove it.
I didn't see anything. I don't have to prove anything.
Wait here.
Good morning, Frank. Where have you been all week?
Emily.
I've been waiting for you here every day. You're not angry with me, are you, Frank?
Emily.
Where would you like to ride this morning? You know, I never did thank you for that piano rhapsody. It was so thoughtful.
Come on, boy. Let's go, Bolivar.
Frank, don't go. Don't go, Frank.
Ready to go back for breakfast, Frank?
Yeah.
Well, was anybody there?
Oh, no. There was nobody there. Nobody at all.
It could be a bad dream. And everything will be all right when Frank wakes up. But how can he wake up when we all know he hasn't been sleeping? We'll return shortly with Act 2. And now, Act 2 of Death Rides a Stallion. Frank has gotten over the shock of seeing and hearing a dead Emily, but not completely, it seems, as he has breakfast with Judy.
More coffee, Frank, darling?
Thank you.
You know, you weren't exactly filled with chatter and high spirits this morning.
Sorry, Judy.
You hardly said a word all during our ride.
I guess you're right. I should never skip breakfast.
Oh, no, that isn't true. You should always skip breakfast, or you'll wind up fat as a pig.
The wit and wisdom of Uncle Harry.
Morning, sir.
And how are the true lovers this morning?
Oh, I'm fine. Frank is a bit gloomy, though.
I'm not gloomy.
Yes, I would say you are. I'm an expert on gloom. I was once engaged to a boy. Do you remember him, Uncle Harry, the tall, blonde,
The one whose father owned all that oil?
No, he was a redhead. The blonde's name was George something or other.
Oh.
Anyhow, he was undoubtedly the gloomiest human being east of the Mississippi.
Well, Frank, what's the problem?
There isn't any problem.
Frank's been seeing things.
Is that a fact?
Now, Judy.
Now, Frank, don't deny it. He was actually convinced he saw Spartacus out riding this morning.
Spartacus?
And somebody was on him.
Whoa, that's remarkable.
Not to mention impossible. In the first place, nobody's been able to ride Spartacus since poor Emily. And in the second place, Spartacus hasn't left the stable in all that time.
Who was supposed to have been riding him, Frank?
Look, the whole thing was a kind of a hallucination. Now, please forget it.
All right, darling. Will you be judge at the competitions this year, Uncle Harry?
Well, is it still on after all, darling? We're in mourning.
Oh, would Emily have wanted us to call off the show? What better way is there to remember her? Poor child. Frank, do you think that we should... Where's Frank?
Oh, well, he was just sitting here. Where'd he go?
All right, come on, Spartacus. Come on, calm down, boy, calm down. Everything's all right. Everything's going to be all right.
I want to talk to you.
Oh, good morning. That's Spartacus. Still can't do a thing with him.
You don't have to play that game for me anymore, Mac.
Game, Mr. Frank?
Tell me the truth, or I'm going to beat it out of you.
You raise your hand to me, and I'll be forced to break your jaw.
There's nothing the matter with Spartacus. He was out riding this morning.
Well, that's news to me.
Who's paying you off?
Mr. Frank, that jaw of yours is starting to look like a good target.
You saddled Spartacus after I left here. I saw him. He was near Parsons Creek.
Oh, you ain't well. You want to sit down? I'll get you a glass of water. Now, just
get your
down.
filthy hands off me.
Frank, what's the matter?
Nothing is the matter, Judy.
Mac?
I think the sun's a little strong this morning, Miss Judy, and you know these city fellas, they never wear hats.
Frank, you don't look well at all.
I'm fine.
Now listen, darling, listen to me. I'm going to call Dr. Stoneman
I don't need a doctor.
Yes, you do. You do. I don't want to hear another word. You just go to your room and rest.
Come in. Oh, it's you.
Darling, I don't want to hear another word. Just go to your room and rest. Well, I can tell who's going to wear the pants in your family. Not to mention the shorts and the slacks.
When $26 million tells me to go up to my room, I go.
There's a bit of an exaggeration there. She only has 23.
Well, it won't change my style of living.
What's this I hear about you hallucinating?
I'll admit you had me going, Uncle Harry.
I had you going?
For a minute back there, I believed. Oh, did I ever believe?
What did you believe, Frank?
I believed, and listen to this, I believed that the dead return. I believed that I actually saw Emily sitting on horseback, sitting on Spartacus.
Oh, of course it was your imagination.
No, it wasn't.
You mean she was sitting on Spartacus?
Let's say somebody was sitting on Spartacus. Somebody you hired, an actress made up to look like Emily.
Why would I do a thing like that?
Because you know I hate your guts.
Oh, come on, Frank. You don't really.
Oh, I do. And once I marry Judy and start assuming some control around here, you will be thrown out on your ear.
Frank, you wouldn't.
And you can either starve to death or you can find somebody else to sponge on.
Oh, I see. That's why I'm trying to drive you crazy.
Exactly, but it won't work.
Yes, I could have hired someone to impersonate Emily, but I could never get her on Spartacus. That horse is completely unmanageable.
I think you're bribing that fool down at the stables.
Oh, don't let that pose of his throw you. He's far from a fool. Actually, he's a physicist.
You plan to put this girl, this actress, on Spartacus, and my vivid imagination would then do the rest.
He just realized one day that live horses were more interesting than dead mathematics.
Oh, I blew it this morning. No question about that. I panicked. I lost my cool. First, when I actually thought it was Emily. Second, when I tried to put muscle on that moron at the stable.
Frank, believe me, his IQ is higher than yours.
I lost points with Judy, but it'll never happen again. Sorry to end your fun so soon, Uncle Harry. Come in.
Frank, darling, I came by to check. Has he been resting, Uncle Harry?
Oh, yes, he's been as good as gold.
My darling Judy, won't you believe I'm all right?
You didn't look all right, and you didn't sound all right just a little while ago.
I'm fine right now. I'm just fine.
Oh, that's good, darling. Because we're having dinner with the Farringtons.
Oh, Judy, he's such a bore.
Of course. But he has one of the biggest stock brokerage firms in the country. We were talking about making you vice president.
Judy, I'm not interested.
Frank, darling, you'll have to do something.
I don't know anything about...
And there's no reason you can't learn. Now, Uncle Harry knows all about finance. Let him teach you. Will you, Uncle Harry?
Oh, gladly.
I'll pop in again soon just to check on you.
Does she know your plan to assume control after the wedding?
Don't you worry about me. I know how to handle women.
Well, Judy has all the money, but you know you'd have been much happier with Emily.
I was so proud of you this evening, Frank. You were so attentive and so interested. You hung on Jim Farrington's every word.
I'm going to work for him.
No, dear, not for him. With him. After all, Mother and I are major stockholders in Farrington and Company. Now, don't you find stocks and bonds fascinating?
Slow down, Judy.
What?
Slow down! Look out, Judy! Judy, you all right?
Oh, of course I'm all right. Why did you make me skid off the road?
There was somebody up ahead.
I didn't see anybody.
Yeah, there was somebody up ahead on horseback.
On horseback? At 11 o'clock at night?
I could have sworn maybe it was the shadows.
Oh, you have this thing for people on horseback, Frank. Oh, I'm never going to get out of this ditch. We're less than a mile from home. Let's walk. Oh, no. We'll have to wait till it lets up.
Oh, we could wait all night. Tell you, I can run to the house, pick up another car, and be back in 10 minutes.
Oh, I was waiting for you to suggest the gallant thing, darling.
Mind waiting alone?
Why should I mind? These are my woods.
Well, there goes.
Hello, Frank.
What? Emily.
Poor Frank. You're getting soaked. Climb up. Ride with me.
Emily, what do you want?
I want you to come with me, Frank.
Where?
Where we can just be together all the time. Just you and me, Frank. You love me.
This is some kind of trick, but it isn't working. Harry, he hired you.
No, Frank. I'm Emily. Really.
When I saw you this morning, you mentioned the piano rhapsody. Harry knew about it. He coached you.
No, Frank. Only you and I know about the day we met. Only you and I. Excuse me. I think this is my seat.
Oh, is it?
My ticket stub says R1.
So does mine. Hey, look at the date on your ticket. It's for tomorrow.
Shh.
Well, look, you take the seat anyhow.
Oh, but I couldn't.
I insist. Now sit down and enjoy yourself.
And we met in the lobby at intermission. And you bought me a lemonade. And when I said my name was Emily Montgomery, you said...
Of the Montgomerys?
Well, yes, that's what we're called.
Hey, I had no idea I was buying a lemonade for an heiress.
Oh, I'm not an heiress. My stepsister Judy has the money. Come with me, Frank.
No.
Don't be afraid, Frank. I love you. I wouldn't harm you. Come with me.
I can't go with you, Emily.
Why, Frank? Why?
Because you're dead.
Oh, no, Frank. Love never dies, and neither do lovers. You remember that verse you once recited? So speak to me of parting never, for all who love shall live forever.
Keep away from me.
Frank, I forgive you for Judy.
Keep away, I said.
You were poor all your life, and when she smiled...
Keep away, please.
But I'm the one you love. I'm the one you want. Come with me, Frank.
Keep away from me.
Frank, don't go, Frank.
Keep away from me. Keep away from me. Keep away from me.
And so, we have here a man who is sprinting down a country road at midnight, in a pouring rain, shouting, "Keep away from me." And his urgent plea is directed to a dead young lady. And yet, 12 hours ago, he was convinced that the dead do not return. We'll return shortly with Act 3. A lonely country road in the dead of night. It can try the souls of the most practical of men. Pragmatic, sensible Frank is now terrified, delirious Frank.
Keep away from me. Keep away. Keep away. What?
Lie back, Frank. Lie back and be quiet.
What? How did I get here? What am I doing in bed?
Judy found you lying on the road unconscious.
I waited in the car for almost an hour. I thought you'd taken this as an excuse to run out on me.
Oh, Judy, don't say that.
All right, darling, now don't excite yourself.
No, I'm fine. I'm okay.
See, the rain had let up, and I started to walk home. And there was someone lying in the road. And it was you. What happened,
I must have tripped over something, or maybe I ran to a low-hanging branch. I guess I was knocked out.
And you kept moaning, "Keep away from me." Why?
Well,
Who?
I don't know. I guess I must have been having a nightmare.
Well, listen, the first thing in the morning, we'll see Dr. Stoneman. But right now, what you need is some sleep. And we'd better leave you alone. Are you coming, Uncle Harry?
Yeah, just a minute.
Frank, dear, you look very tired. You try to get some rest. Good night, my darling.
Good night.
So, you were running, you tripped, you fell, you were knocked unconscious. Oh, no. No, that story won't do. You don't have a mark on you.
What are you talking about?
She's starting to have second thoughts, Frank. Bad move. You should have chosen Emily. No, 23 million there, but she wasn't exactly a welfare case either.
It won't work, Uncle Harry. You can't hope to psych me out of it. Nobody can psych me out of it.
Little things, Frank. Little straws in the wind. For instance, she just said, "I waited in the car. I thought you'd taken this excuse to run out on me." What she really meant, Frank, she might be looking for an excuse to run out on you.
Enjoy yourself, Harry.
I've been with that girl through, it has to be at least a dozen engagements. Each one is like a fever. It runs a predictable course. And you can always tell when she's reached the crisis. She becomes thoughtful.
Pour you another glass of wine, dear. Judy, more wine?
No. Oh, thank you.
What a glorious spot for a picnic.
Frank, did you tell Dr. Stoneman everything?
Of course. You heard what he said. I am 100%.
Did you say anything about that mysterious rider?
What mysterious rider?
Oh, I know for a fact you've seen it twice. Once yesterday morning and again on the road last night. The rider who's supposed to be on Spartacus.
What's there to say about it? It's impossible. Who can even get a saddle on Spartacus these days?
Then why do you keep seeing him with someone on his back?
Judy, darling, didn't you ever have a momentary flash, well, an illusion?
No, not really. I take after Dad, both feet on the ground. You know, it's a pity you never knew my dad. There was a man for you. You're a lot like him, except when you get these, what do you call them, delusions? No, he wasn't like that at all.
Who's that coming?
I don't see anybody. Oh, Frank, not again.
Hello, Frank.
What's the matter, darling?
Nothing. Nothing is the matter. I'm fine.
Well, you don't look it.
Come with me, my dearest.
Frank, are you sure you don't have some deep, dark secret?
Come with me. She won't mind if you come with me.
I always thought I wanted to marry a man of mystery, but...
Judy and I, we grew up together. We loved each other as sisters do.
Frank, are you sure you haven't been drinking?
She wouldn't have taken you if she knew I loved you.
Judy, let's go back to the house.
But we just got here.
I know, but please.
Don't go with her, Frank. Come with me.
All right, we might as well. I can tell you're not going to be much fun today.
Good morning, Mr. Frank. Do anything for you?
Mac, Spartacus has been here all morning, hasn't he?
This time you don't have to take my word for it. The vet's in the stable. He's been here all morning. Ask him. Want me to call him?
No, never mind.
Hey, you look nervous, Mr. Frank. You ought to get some rest.
Yeah, sure. The vet's been here all morning, and so has Spartacus.
Why do you keep asking?
How long will it take you to saddle Spartacus?
The way he is now? Forever.
I'm going to ride Spartacus.
Mr. Frank. Now, that is a damn fool thing to do.
If you won't saddle him, I will.
I tell you what, Mr. Frank. This is a bad time. Toward evening, he kind of simmers down a bit, and that's the best time to try. Right now, he'd kill the both of us.
That's 5 o'clock.
Oh, I'd say 5 o'clock's just fine.
Come in.
Well, I'm here to attend your education as a budding financier, as per your fiancé's instructions. So, let's begin with something right up your alley. Let me tell you about watered stock.
Oh, shut up.
People have been talking about you. Mac in the stables, for one. He tells me that you intend to ride Spartacus.
That's right.
Why?
Harry, at first I thought you were out to destroy my mind with an actress who was impersonating Emily on Spartacus. But that's impossible.
Might have been fun at that.
Now I know for sure that I am having hallucinations. I keep seeing Emily.
Oh, that's bad.
But as long as I'm aware of it, I can handle it. It's my own mind, and I can control it.
Hooray for you.
The key to this thing is Spartacus. If I can break that horse, I can break this whole psychological hang-up.
Oh, that's what you think it is, a psychological hang-up.
Absolutely.
Judy's also been talking about you. She's a little disturbed.
I didn't notice.
Yeah, key sign. Tell me, did she talk about her father yet?
No.
You sure?
Well, she happened to mention him briefly.
But his name did come up.
Just in passing.
Oh, bad news for you.
Why don't you get out of here?
I don't think she'll ever marry anybody.
None of this is going to work, Harry.
Her daddy was just too overwhelming a man. She's attracted to guys who resemble him. And then when she finds out the resemblance is only superficial, she's done it no fewer than 12 times. Oh, my goodness. You're number 13.
Will you get out of here?
I'm supposed to teach you how to be a stockbroker.
Cut it out.
Well, here you are, you two. Hard at work, I hope. How are the lessons coming?
The lessons are coming to an end.
You mean you've learned everything already?
I don't intend to learn anything. I don't care about finance. I won't go into an office with that idiot Farrington. And when we're married, I intend to make the decisions.
Well, of course.
Now, what did you want to see me about?
I just came up to find out if you were all right.
Obviously, I'm fine.
Oh, well, I'll see you at dinner.
That's how you handle women, Uncle Harry. That's how you regain control of your mind. And now, I'm going for a walk.
Oh, if you happen to see Emily riding Spartacus, say hello for me.
Hello, Frank.
Emily, you're either in my mind or you really are out there.
I'm out here, Frank.
Either way, I can live with it. You won't destroy me.
Oh, my darling. I'm not here to destroy you. I'm here to save you.
Emily, I don't love you. Believe me, I used you. I used you to meet Judy.
No, Frank, that's not true. You love me. Some stranger. Something. Someone who's alien to your very nature was attracted to Judy. Oh, Frank, she won't marry you. She doesn't love you.
She will marry me.
I've come for you, Frank. We'll be together, always.
Go away from me.
Speak to me of parting never. For those who love shall live forever.
Emily, I don't want you.
Yes, you do. Oh, how badly you want me. How you need me.
I can live with this. I can keep seeing you and talking to you. It won't destroy me. I'll just get used to it. I will get used to it.
Oh. Back so soon, Frank? Have a nice walk?
Of course. Thought Judy'd be here. Wanted to find out what the plan was for dinner.
Aren't you the newly appointed planner?
No, not when it comes to dinner. That's a woman's prerogative.
Well, Judy isn't here.
Where'd she go?
She left for the airport.
Why?
I wouldn't know.
Did something come up suddenly?
Probably. Oh, she left you this note.
Thanks.
Frank, darling, how lucky we are to find out sooner rather than late. Obviously, it isn't going to work. The one thing I must have in my life is someone solid, dependable, someone who has a clearly defined goal and purpose. You're wonderful, Frank, but so moody, so unpredictable. How ironic. You would have been just right for Emily. I realize that now. Had she lived, I'm sure you would have found each other. I hope we can meet again as friends. Judy.
Well, Frank, I'm sorry. Let me pour you a drink.
I'll ride that damn horse. I'll kill him. Back!
Yes, Mr. Frank.
Did you saddle Spartacus?
No, sir.
Saddle him.
I have strict orders from Miss Judy that no one's to ride Spartacus at this time. Anyhow, sir, he's impossible.
No. He's standing there very quiet.
But that's just for the moment.
Frank. Oh, Frank, darling.
And there's Miss Emily. She's getting ready to ride him.
Miss Emily?
There she is, right beside him.
You see Miss Emily?
Of course.
Come with me, Frank, darling. We'll be together now.
Yes, Emily. I was so foolish.
Mr. Frank, please tell me, who are you talking to?
To Miss Emily.
Come, Frank.
Yes, Emily. You're all I have.
Climb up behind me. We'll ride Spartacus together.
Hey, Mr. Frank, where do you think you're going? You can't go in that corral. That horse will kill you.
Spartacus, look at him. So still, so gentle.
I can't let you go in there.
It's all right. Emily and I will ride him together.
Come, Frank. I'm waiting.
Let go of me, Mac.
Mr. Frank, Bert, quick, come on, give me a hand. I can't hold you.
I'm waiting, Frank.
Let me go. I'm coming, Emily.
Mr. Frank, get out of that corral.
Climb on, Frank. Climb on.
Get away from that horse! Get away!
Don't be afraid of him, Frank. Climb on.
Don't touch him, Mr. Frank! Back away!
Here. Let me help you.
Back away.
Take my hand, Frank.
No.
Take my hand.
Yes, Emily, yes. Don't touch that horse.
Don't be afraid, Frank.
Emily, give me your hand. Emily, where are you? Emily! Emily, help me! Help me! Mr. Brown! No!
Bert, get a rope. Jerry, call an ambulance.
As you can already guess, the ambulance was too late. But, as the poem says, those who love shall live forever. If Frank truly loved Emily at the end, then both of them will be together somewhere, forever. I'll be back shortly. Do you believe the story of Spartacus? Well, maybe you should, because whenever we vouch for something, we say it's from the horse's mouth. That's because everyone knows that horses never lie. Our cast included Mason Adams, Marion Seldes, Paul McGrath, Barbara Worthington, and Harry Belliver. The entire production was under the direction of Hyman Brown. This is E.G. Marshall inviting you to return to our Mystery Theater for another adventure in the macabre. Until next time. Come in. Welcome. I'm E.G. Marshall. Welcome to the sound of suspense, to the fear you can hear. Consider this. What is the nature of danger? Is it a clear threat to our safety? Or is it a murky product of our imagination? And what is safety? Do we ever really possess it? Isn't there always danger? Our tale is about a little old lady who ran from danger and was pursued by a cat.
How did you get into this house? Now get! I didn't even touch you. What's the matter with you? Now, sooner or later, you're going to have to get out of my house. Don't you think I want to feed you? Because I'm not. There's nothing in the house to eat anyway. How in the world did you ever get in here? How am I going to get rid of you?
Our mystery drama, The Resident, was written especially for the Mystery Theater by Elspeth Eric and stars Carmen Matthews. I'll be back shortly with Act One. It's hard to live with danger. Hard if you're old, elderly. Hard if you're a woman. And hardest if you're alone. Miss Malvina Thripp is elderly, a woman, and alone.
Oh, my. Oh, how many years since I lived in a place with stairs? 40 at the very least. Well, how am I going to navigate up and down 6-8 times a day at my age? Well, I wanted to get out of the city, and here I am. Oh, but it's a nice house. It really is a nice house. What was that?
Was that a cat?
Didn't I hear a cat? I'm sure... All right, Malvina. You heard a cat. There's nothing surprising about hearing a cat, nothing alarming. The thing is that I haven't lived in a house since I was a child. It makes me feel very alone. Not that I'm not used to being alone. I like being alone. But in the city, there was always somebody around. Other tenants. Not necessarily anyone you'd want to know or even talk to, but you'd meet them maybe in the elevator and exchange a few words. Not that I even knew their names or cared to. Also, there were the children at school, but I never knew what to say to them either. What I really liked was to talk to people on buses, because sooner or later one of us had to get off. Quiet out there, Cat. Cat, go away. Honestly, Cat, I will not let you in my house. Well, where are you? After all that racket, where are you? Cat? Gone off to howl at somebody else. Well, good. All meowing. Well, how in the world did you get in here? Did you skitter through the door without my seeing you? My, you're a big cat, aren't you? Big yellow eyes. And you're sitting in my chair, you know that. Get down. Get off my chair. I didn't even touch you. What's the matter with you? Who could that be? Maybe somebody looking for you. I devoutly hope so.
Mailman.
Mail? For me? Nobody knows I'm here. I just moved in.
One letter addressed to resident. You the resident of this house?
Oh, I'm the resident, all right. As of this morning.
Yeah. Here's your letter.
Thank you. It says Sam's Garage.
Circular. Sam runs a good garage.
I don't have a car.
Better luck next time.
Mr. Mailman.
Huh?
Do you know anybody who's lost a cat?
You found a cat?
It's in my house. It doesn't want to leave.
Crazy about you, huh?
I wouldn't say that, no.
Maybe if you leave the door open, you'll sort of wander out.
And is that safe? To leave the door open?
In this town? Are you kidding?
Well, it's good to hear that. I had a cooperative apartment in the city. Every cent I had was invested in it, and I traded it for this house. To be safe.
Everybody here was born here and is about to die here. I'll inquire around if anybody's lost a cat.
Oh, thank you. I'd appreciate it. Oh, no. Leave it open, he said. Safe, he said. Well, now, Cat, anytime you're ready, the door is open. You can... Where are you? Where have you gone to? Are you still in this house?
Looking for someone?
Oh, you frightened me.
The door was open.
I left it open for the cat.
You have a cat?
No, I don't have a cat. It just showed up here a little while ago, and it didn't seem about to leave, so I... Did you want something? Something in particular, Miss?
Viola's my name.
Viola? What?
I've forgotten. Oh, you have a little scratch on your arm.
Well, the cat did that.
What did you do to the cat?
Well, I just wanted her to get out of my chair.
Why did you?
Well, it's my favorite chair.
No wonder. It's nice.
Oh, you don't want to sit in it?
Yes, I do.
Well, it has cat hairs all over it.
These old dungarees have been up against worse than cat hairs. Okay to drop my knapsack here?
Oh.
You live alone?
I just moved in.
This morning. I saw you.
You did?
I should think you'd want a nice cat living here with you.
Well, I don't. Anyway, it seems to have disappeared.
Maybe she went upstairs.
You think so?
I think it's possible.
Well, I must go and have a look.
Good idea.
If you want to be on your way now...
Not quite yet.
Do you need some money? I have a little in the house, not much, but...
I just want to sit here in this nice chair. You go ahead. Go upstairs.
But I
won't steal anything.
Oh, I didn't mean to suggest...
There's nothing to steal.
Well, if you want to rest yourself...
I do. I really do.
Yes. Well, you rest yourself and I'll just look upstairs. Maybe I'll take a hot bath and change my clothes because I'm going out for dinner.
Out?
There's no food in the house. I don't like leaving you here.
You want me to come with you?
Oh, no. No, I'll go by myself.
Oh, wait. You forgot your letter.
Oh, that's nothing.
I guess it's yours. Resident. Is that you? What a nice name.
My name is Malvina Thrip.
Malvina Thrip. I think Resident is a much nicer name. It could be anybody.
Miss Viola, why don't you leave right now?
Miss Thrip, I shall leave when I'm good and ready. Now go on upstairs.
I really don't understand why I'm letting myself be subjected to all this. I'll be back shortly.
Oh, why, Miss Thrip, you were born to be subjected to all this and more. One bedroom door closed. You are a natural victim, Miss Thrip. Other door closed. Rest well, Miss Thrip. Pull the pretty pink and white afghan up around your shoulders and rest well. There's excitement in store for you. Oh, there you are, my beautiful. Come here. Come. Come, Eva. Come to my arms. Oh, my beautiful evil one. She's lying down now, upstairs on her little white bed. She's staring at the ceiling, making plans. She'll stay up there for a while, so you and I must make our plans, too. Our careful, careful plans. Feeling better, Miss Thrip?
You're still here.
You've changed your clothes.
What on earth are you doing?
This is our dinner.
I'm going out. I told you.
Look, a barbecued chicken and a bottle of wine.
What on earth?
I had them in my knapsack. On the road, I buy a chicken and a bottle of wine every day. Have a drumstick.
I couldn't.
Not hungry?
Not a bit hungry.
Oh.
You pack up your chicken and your wine and your knapsack and you get out of my house.
Miss Thrip, you sit down. Sit down. You old fool. Now listen to me. You're a selfish old lady. Here you are with a little gem of a house, 2 bedrooms, and you won't even share a little corner of it.
Well, it's my house.
It's my house. Mine, mine, mine. What a way to talk.
But it is my...
Don't you know what it is to share?
Why should I share my house with you? With anybody, if I don't want to?
It's sharing that makes life beautiful, Miss Thrip. Don't you know that, for heaven's sake?
No.
Well, then you are going to learn. Here. Have some wine.
Well, perhaps I'd better.
Of course you'd better. There you are. Say thank you, Viola.
Thank you.
Viola.
Viola. Thank you, Viola.
Eat a piece of chicken.
No, I couldn't. But thank you, Viola.
Finish the wine. Drink it all down.
I don't drink wine as a rule, or anything else.
Rules were made to be broken. Do you like me, Miss Thrip?
Well, I'm sure you're a very nice girl, really, but don't you think you ought... I mean, do your parents know where you are, what you're doing?
What are parents?
Your father, your mother.
Oh, my biological predecessors.
Do they know what you're doing? Wandering about with a knapsack, living off of chicken and wine?
Let me fill your glass. They don't care. And I don't care.
It's very strange.
Only the very weak cling to their families.
Well, I know I'm not strong, but on the other hand, I'm not weak either. I don't think I am.
Wishy-washy.
I've supported myself. I've lived alone. I haven't complained.
You call that being strong?
Well, it isn't being weak. Anyway, I've never thought it was.
You've endured, Miss Thrip. Strong people don't endure things. They change them.
Well,
they take things and they change them.
I wouldn't know how to change. To take.
If one way doesn't work, try another, that's how. The thing is, get what you want.
Well, I want my house. I want my house.
Take it.
If you just go.
Make me.
If the cat would just go. If I could just have my house back again the way it was when I moved in.
You want more chicken, Miss Thrip?
Oh, no. It's the cat. She's back.
You like those bones, do you, my lovely? My evil? My beautiful evil?
What did you call her?
Evil. That's her name.
How do you know what her name is?
Because I just named her.
Evil is a horrible name.
No, it isn't. Think about it, Miss Thrip. Evil, spelled backwards, is live. Think about that.
Evil, spelled backwards, is live. E-V-I-L-L-I-V-E. The girl's right, no doubt about it. But wait. Take the same letters and mix them up again, and they spell vile. V-I-L-E. Think about that. I'll be back shortly with Act 2. Now let's get back to the story of a lady living alone until a cat moved in. A cat named Evil. Until a girl moved in named Viola. And the lady no longer lived alone.
Wake up, Miss Thrip. It's morning. Time to wake up.
What happened?
You went to sleep on the couch, that's all.
Why did I do that? Who are you?
You know me. I'm Viola.
Why are you holding that cat?
This is Evil. Evil slept upstairs with me on my bed.
Your bed?
Don't you remember anything at all?
I wanted the cat to get out of my house.
And Evil wouldn't go, would you? You lovely thing.
And then you walked into my house, a total stranger.
I won't be a stranger for long, you can count on that.
I want you to get out of my house. You and the cat, both of you. Can't you understand that? This is my house.
Where's the telephone?
We don't have a telephone. Why? Look at you. You've got my dress on.
Why don't you have a telephone?
How dare you put my dress on?
My dungarees were dirty. Why don't you have a telephone?
I haven't had one put in yet.
Now I'll have to go out.
You're leaving?
I have to go out and get some food. We have to have breakfast, don't we?
I don't care about breakfast. I want my house back.
Miss Thrip, you really must stop being so selfish.
I just want what belongs to me. That's not selfish.
Listen, old lady. I'm going out, but I'll be back. Don't get any ideas in your foolish head that you can keep me out.
I'll get the police. I'll tell them.
Tell them a girl is in your house and a cat. Tell them they moved in and ate chicken and drank wine, and so did you till you fell asleep on the sofa.
But But it's true.
Does it sound true?
But I'll show them. They'll see.
I'll hide.
Where? Where would you hide?
Under the porch. Behind a bush.
What?
Up a tree. In the attic. In the cellar. Under the stairs. Oh, I know how to hide.
You've done this before. You've moved in on people before.
I do it all the time. I have to live, don't I? Well, I've got to get going or we'll all starve.
Please, take the cat with you.
And leave you all alone?
I want to be alone. It's what I'm used to.
I'm off to the store. I won't forget you, Evil. I'll bring you something delicious.
Be quiet, Ken. I want to think. I'm afraid. That's what I am. Scared to death. Oh, I wish I had my little apartment back in the city. I loved it there. I really did. Well, no use thinking about that. Those people have it now. They'd never let me have it again and take back this awful house. Why, you're purring, aren't you? Are you talking to me? What are you saying? Tell me. Oh, tell me. Because I'm not just frightened. I'm panicky. I don't know what to do. I don't want to do anything foolish. And when people are in a panic, they do foolish things. Anything I did might be foolish. There's no use locking the door, is there? Or there's no use going to neighbors. They don't even know who I am. They've never seen me before. Neighbors. The police. Well, those are things I do in the city. Sensible things. Practical things. Not here, though. No, I'm in a strange place. In very strange circumstances. You're a very extraordinary cat. I'm not going to pretend I like you. I couldn't fool you anyhow, could I? Of course I couldn't. But you're very unusual. I'm sure you're very wise, very knowing. You must know strange things, secret things that I don't know, couldn't possibly know. Evil things. Evil, spelled backwards, is live. And I want to live. And I can't live being afraid like this. Fear is an impossible thing to live with. So tell me, cat, tell me what to do. I'm sure you know. And I'll do whatever you say.
I'm back. Where are you? You didn't go out, did you? You wouldn't be such a fool.
We're in the kitchen.
Well, there you are, the two of you.
We're hungry.
Well, I bought plenty. Eggs and butter and all that kind of stuff for breakfast, coffee, tea, and meat and vegetables for dinner. Enough for the whole week.
The whole week?
I don't want to keep going to the store. And for you, my lovely caviar.
Did you have enough money for all this?
Of course not. I charged it.
To me?
To Miss Malvina Thrip.
Well, didn't they say anything? They don't even know me.
That's how small towns are.
They just went ahead and charged it. They'd never do that in the city.
They gave me a couple of applications to fill out for charge accounts. I said I'd drop them by tomorrow. You'd better sign them.
In the city, I always pay cash.
You're not in the city now.
Oh, I know.
So sign them.
There.
That fixes that.
Viola, did you tell them at the store that you were me?
I said my name was Malvina Thrip, so I guess they thought I was Malvina Thrip.
Are you just going to sit there? Or are you going to fix us some breakfast?
What should I fix?
Well, I don't know about you, but I want grapefruit and fried eggs and toast. Oh, and open the caviar for the cat. Put the coffee on. And start the eggs.
Before the coffee's ready?
And put the bread in the toaster.
Well, I haven't unpacked the toaster.
Well, then butter some bread. Cut the grapefruit.
There's no knife to cut the grapefruit.
Oh, let's have a little efficiency around here.
No, Frank.
Hurry up.
I can't.
There's the butter. There's the bread. Now put the butter on the bread. Use your fingers.
I can't understand why I'm doing all this.
I am telling you to.
There's no reason.
And you like it.
I don't.
You like being told what to do.
I hate it.
All right, Miss Thrip. You may not like it now, but you'll get where you like it.
Never. I won't.
You'll get where you can't live without it, Miss Thrip. You just wait and see. You're a very passive person, Miss Thrip. And passive people need someone to tell them what to do. And then when they do it, they get a pat on the head and they are very, very happy.
Is that how it is?
That's how it is. To the end of time.
The coffee's ready.
People like you need people like me. I tell you what to do and you do it, and that's what makes the world go around. Pour the coffee. Very nice. Hot and strong.
Thank you.
Pour yourself a cup.
Thank you. I will.
You're getting the hang of it.
Of what?
Of doing as you're told.
Am I?
Now, let's see. What'll I have you do next?
I'm not going to do anything next.
Yes, you are.
No, I'm not.
Get out! You get
out of my house!
All over my dress!
It's not your dress! It's my dress! It's not your coffee! It's mine! And it's my kitchen! And my house! And
One more word about your house and I'll slap you again! Now! I am going upstairs and change these clothes and put something on those burns. And when I come back, I want you to be in control of yourself.
I can't possibly be in control of myself as long as you're in this house. You told me wrong, Cat. It didn't work. You told me to give in to her and do everything she wanted. And it didn't work at all. I don't think I want any more of your advice. She was asking me to be her servant. Pretty soon it would have been sweep the floor, scour the sink, take out the garbage. I'd be her personal slave for as long as she stayed here. Suppose she stayed forever. Suppose I never got my house back. Is that possible? Sooner or later, surely somebody would what? Come to the door? Who? Oh, I wish I had friends. People who cared about me and would miss me and worry about me. I used to think I only needed someone to talk to now and then, and not for very long, but that's not true now. I need someone close, someone who cares.
Well, what's this? Both of you asleep? What kind of a household are we running here?
I just put my head down on the table for a minute.
Dirty cups? Evil, get off the table. I said get off the table. Go lie down somewhere else. Okay, Miss Thrip. Wash the cups and then sweep the floor. Oh, here's something else.
What?
My dungarees, they're filthy dirty. I've been traveling in them for weeks.
What am I supposed to do with them?
Wash them. What do you think?
You want me?
Throw them in the washer-dryer.
I don't have a washer-dryer.
Everybody has a washer-dryer.
And if I did, I wouldn't wash your dirty dungarees in it.
Then you're just going to have to do them by hand.
No, I am not going to wash them by hand. And I'm not going to wash your clothes, or buy your food, or cook your meal.
We had an arrangement.
You had an arrangement where you'd swagger around this house, my house, and give orders and act as if you owned the place, and I would do what you told.
And that's the way it's going to be.
It's not.
That's the way it has to be, Miss Thripp.
It can't.
There are people who give orders and people who take them, and nobody in between. That's the way it is. That's the way it always has been. And that is the way it's going to be.
Not in my house.
Right here! In your house. Now, pick up those dungarees.
You pick them up.
Pick them up! And take them to the sink and wash them.
Wash them yourself. And then put them on and get out of my house.
Don't talk to me that way. You stupid old woman. I'll show you if I have to kill you.
It's true what they say. Put two women in the same house, it never works out. Or am I being catty? I'll be back shortly with Act 3. Two women in the same kitchen, plus a cat. Teeth are bared. Claws are unsheathed. Fur flies. It's a cat fight. What else could it possibly be?
Did she hurt you?
My arms are bleeding.
Your face is bleeding, too.
And my hands. What got into her?
I can't imagine. I thought she was asleep.
Have you got some iodine?
I haven't unpacked it.
Well, unpack it.
I wouldn't know where to look.
Then give me some soap and water.
Yes, that will do just as well.
I thought that damn cat liked me.
Well, you can never tell with cats.
Maybe she didn't like me, but she respected me. It is very hard to get respect from cats. As hard as getting them to like you.
Oh, here's the water. And here's a towel. There's no soap.
This water isn't very hard.
Well, it's the best I can do.
Oh. Well, that's enough. You can use it now.
I don't need it.
Why don't you need... Why, look at you. You haven't got a scratch. That cat didn't even touch you. But we were standing right together. She came between us. Why didn't she scratch you? Why just me?
I wouldn't know.
It couldn't be that she likes you.
No, I don't suppose so.
Once in a very long while, a cat falls in love.
Well, I've never heard of that.
When a cat falls in love, it's disgusting. They lose everything that made them cats. Proud, beautiful animals, aloof, untouchable, sitting in the softest spots, staring at things no one else can see, thinking their secret thoughts. Why, the ancient Egyptians worshipped cats, kept them in temples, bowed down to them. They knew what cats are. The inscrutable. The unknowable. But when a cat falls in love, everything is changed.
What happens, Viola?
The cat becomes the lowest of the low. Shameless. Cringing, rubbing up against the person she loves, wanting to be touched, to be held. Not looking off into the distance anymore, only watching where the loved one moves. And when will he return to the cat who is waiting so
patiently loving and longing without dignity, without pride. It sounds sweet. It's sickening.
Yeah, I suppose.
And that cat is in love with you.
Oh, I don't think so. It isn't reasonable.
That's why she came between us when she thought I might hurt you, and she didn't scratch you. She only scratched me. She's in love with you. She's put me out of her mind, and she's in love with you. Well, that settles that. We'll get rid of her.
Put her outside, you mean?
What good would that do if she's in love with you? She'd get back in now. We have to kill her.
Kill her? Well, you couldn't do that.
Have you got some poison?
Poison?
We'll put it in the caviar.
But I don't have any poison. Why would I?
A knife. Give me a knife.
Well, there isn't any knife. A poker, a shovel. I don't have any of those things.
I'll strangle her. That's what
You better leave her alone. You can't stay in my house. I don't hate you.
She loves you.
Viola, you don't mean that I should... Oh, no, I couldn't do that. I just couldn't.
Pick her up.
No, I...
Pick her up.
I can't do what you said. I can't strangle a cat. You didn't mean it, did you?
We'll take her upstairs, and we'll throw her out the window. Come on.
No, we can't do that.
Nevertheless, it's what's going to be done. It's what you're going to do. Up the stairs now. I'm right behind you. Keep going.
I never wanted this cat in my house, but that doesn't mean that I wanted this.
Keep going. In here. Oh, good. The window's open. Go ahead. Throw her out.
I can't do it.
Yes, you can. Just lean out and drop her.
The doorbell. The doorbell. Come back here. Oh, it's a friend. It's a friend. Someone remembered. I'm coming. Wait. I'm coming.
Another letter, Miss Tripp.
Oh, come in.
This one's addressed to you.
Oh, please come in. I'm so glad to see you.
Miss Malvina Tripp, it says. Nothing like hearing from a friend, is there?
Listen, they're in the bedroom. She's going to kill her.
Hold on now.
Maybe she has already. She wanted me to do it, but I couldn't.
What bedroom is this, Miss Tripp?
The front one. Top of the stairs. I look outside. Maybe she's there. Maybe she fell in a tree or a bush or something. Cat? Where are you? Are you all right, Cat? Oh, please, be all right. I didn't want you in my house, but that was all. I never meant that you should... Oh, where are you?
Tripp.
Yes, I'm here. What did you find? Upstairs?
Nobody. Nothing.
Nobody? No cat?
No cat.
Wasn't there a girl? A young girl?
Nobody. Nothing.
Oh, both of them couldn't have gone out the window. I don't think both of them...
Look, Miss Tripp, you're all shook up. Why don't we go into the kitchen and I'll pour you some coffee?
I threw the coffee at her. There isn't any.
Well, I'll make some fresh, and you can tell me all about the cat and the girl, the whole dream.
It wasn't a dream.
Well, what if it was?
You think it could have been a hallucination?
Maybe something like that.
You remember I told you there was a cat in my house.
And I told you I'd inquire around about a lost cat, and I did. But nobody's lost a cat.
This girl, this Viola, she went and bought things at the store. Look, all these groceries. She bought them. I didn't. And caviar for the cat. She charged everything to me.
You sure it wasn't you charged all these things?
I haven't been out of the house. What would I have done if you hadn't rung the bell? Viola was going to make me throw the cat out of the window.
Miss Thripp, maybe I should call a doctor.
Oh, I'll be all right now that you're here. You're my friend. You brought me a letter yesterday from Sam's garage, you remember?
Addressed to resident.
Yes, and I'm the resident here. I'm Malvina Thripp, and I'm the resident of this house.
Sure you are.
Although for a while there, I didn't know if I really was the resident of this house. Well, I wouldn't have taken the letter from you if I wasn't, would I?
Resident means anybody who's living here.
And I'm living here. I was at the time, and I am.
Of course you are.
You don't think I'm out of my head, do you?
Oh, not necessarily. You're upset. I'm going to call a doctor for you, eh?
Well, there's no phone. I haven't had one put in yet.
I'll go next door.
Oh, don't go. Don't leave me. You don't believe me. You don't think there was any cat here, or any girl, or that we ate chicken and drank wine and the cat ate the bones. And in the morning she came downstairs and she was holding the cat in her arms, and I was on the couch. I'd been there all night. I think I was drunk from the wine.
Drunk, huh?
Well, the bottle must be around here somewhere.
I don't see it.
And she told me to get breakfast and wash the dishes and then to sweep the floor and wash her dungarees, her dirty dungarees. Look, there they are, her dirty, filthy dungarees.
They're not yours?
Well, you don't think I'd wear anything like that, do you?
Oh, lots of women wear dungarees these days. What was this girl wearing if she wasn't wearing the dungarees?
My dress. Can you imagine? She was wearing my dress till I threw the coffee pot at her.
Threw the coffee pot at her, did you?
Yes. And the cat attacked her.
You don't say.
Not me, just her.
Uh-huh.
And she said the cat was in love with me. Now, I don't know if that was true. If such a thing could be true. But she said it was. And she said in that case, we would have to kill the cat, poison it, or stab it, or strangle it. But I couldn't do that.
Of course not.
Not any of those things. Then she said, we'd take the cat upstairs and throw it out of the window. And that's where we were when you rang the front doorbell, and oh, was I glad. You don't believe any of it, do you?
Well, now, let's just say you've been through a lot, what with one thing and another.
Oh, I have.
What you need is something to calm you down.
Well, I never take anything like that.
Oh, just something mild to relax your nerves.
I'll be all right. Now that I have my house back.
There's a very nice doctor lives not far from here. He's on my mail route. I'll call him and ask him to stop over.
Oh, please, don't go.
He'll fix you up fine. Hey, look what's coming up the wall.
White. Oh, cat. I'm so glad to see you.
Careful, don't let her in the house.
Oh, that's all right. I've gotten sort of fond of her, and she's rather fond of me.
Oh, say, almost forgot what I came by for. Got a letter for you.
Another circular? Not Sam's garage again.
Oh, no. Addressed to you, Miss Malvina Thripp.
Well, for heaven's sakes. It's from the city, my old address where I used to live.
Miss you already, do they?
Well, I don't think anyone misses me. I didn't even tell anyone I was moving.
Well, open the letter, why don't you?
Imagine. My hands are shaking.
Want me to do it for you?
No, that's all right. Why? It's from the people who took my apartment, the people who used to own this house. I told you, we traded. Well, dear Miss Thripp, we hope you are enjoying the little house as much as we are enjoying your apartment. One day soon, if it's all right with you, we want to drive up and see you. Well, and how you're getting along. Also to pick up our cat. We came away in such a hurry, she got left behind. Will you be kind enough to let her share your house until we can make arrangements? She's a dear, sweet thing. Her name is Viola. And we know you will love her as much as we do.
Dear Viola, sweet Viola, good Viola. Or is she vicious Viola, violent Viola, vile Viola? Well, anyway, for the time being, Viola has a home with Miss Valvina Thripp, the resident. May they both rest safe and sound. I'll be back shortly. There's so much good in the worst of us, and so much bad in the best of us. It scarcely behooves any of us to talk about the rest of us. So the poet said. Think about it. That's what I'm going to do. Our cast included Carmen Matthews, Joan Loring, and Gilbert Mack. The entire production was under the direction of Hyman Brown. This is E.G. Marshall inviting you to return to our Mystery Theater for another adventure in the macabre. Until next time, pleasant dreams.